just grabbed them. They're boxer mix.
Yeah, they're more pit bull than boxer.
They've never attacked a person ever.
Did you see what they did to her dogs?
No, I haven't seen it, no.
Just take a look.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Lori Brunier and her daughter, Lindsay Dimas, are suing neighbor Lori Hughes and her former tenant, Luis Paello, for vet bills, damages to a fence, and pain and suffering due to a dog attack.
Order. All rise. It's case number 233 on the calendar, the matter of Brunier Dimas versus Hughes Paello.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
What's your last name?
Brunier.
Miss Brunier, do you own your house?
Yes.
And Miss Hughes, you own the property next door.
Yes.
And you had rented that property to Mr. Paello.
Yes.
You had a lease with him.
It was a month-to-month rental agreement.
Was it ever in writing?
Yes.
And it became a month-to-month after he lived there a certain number of years?
Just always a month-to-month rental agreement.
You have nothing to do with the house other than the fact that you own it. Is that correct?
I guess I'm not understanding what you mean by I have nothing to do with it, but...
Well, you have nothing to do with the exterior of the house, the interior of the house. That's taken care of.
By the renters, yes.
By the
Lindsay and Danny,
renters.
yes.
It is your claim that Mr. Paello's dogs attacked yours.
Yes.
And that was accomplished because of a defective fence.
Their dogs had been destroying the fence over the course of almost a year.
And they were able to get into your yard. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you ever speak to the tenant? You're no longer a tenant there, is that correct?
Correct.
You were evicted.
I had to move.
She evicted you?
No. I by choice. I didn't want to remain there and be sued at the same time. No, I thought she was going to sue me, so I didn't want to be beholden to her by renting from her and being sued at the same time. I wasn't comfortable living there from that point on.
You have pictures of your dogs?
Yes.
I want to see them.
Judge,
Yep.
I did give him 3-day notice for violating the terms of the rental agreement by having the dogs and having tenants that weren't on the rental agreement. So, yes, I did. I rented to husband and wife, period. And at certain point in times, different people were living there. This incident happened. There was a granddaughter, adult male, and 2 minor children.
When did you get these puppies?
Gosh, I don't know exactly, probably a year ago.
Where did you get them from?
I got them as a present for my granddaughter,
Where did you get them from?
She got them. I paid for them. It was my gift to my great-grandchildren.
You got the dogs?
Yes.
Could you tell me why you got this breed of dog?
They were on sale, so we just grabbed them. They're boxer mix.
Yeah, they're more pit bull than boxer. You understand that?
Yes.
So my question is, you have young children. Why do you get this breed of dog? And you're telling me that you got them because they were on sale?
Oh, my son loved them. He has been playing with them since they were 8 weeks old. And so they loved him, and they've never attacked a human or a person ever.
Did you see what they did to her dogs?
No, I haven't seen it, no.
Would you like to see pictures of what these puppies did to her dogs? Sure. I'd like to see it. Maybe I'll show her, and maybe something in the brain will strike a spark.
I've got before and afters for you. They're pretty gruesome, so...
What?
If you see the picture I gave you of the dogs, my great-grandson was in no danger.
I'm going to read you a letter. And all of you pit bull owners out there, don't write me letters, don't write me emails, don't write me hate mail. I don't read them. An 8-year-old beloved grandson is lying in a hospital bed, implanted with an IV and many stitches all over his face and chin. My heart is broken. His grandma and I were the last call out of guilt, I suppose. He is the victim of a pit bull attack. Since the babies were born, many heated arguments about the dangers and parents subjected these children to fell on deaf ears. It seems that all their friends have at least one. They have 2. At home, the little guys say, "Papa, dog bit me. I can hardly stand the pain in my chest. My heart is broken." Just 3 days before, I warned the family member again about these unpredictable, dangerous animals around children. If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's a duck. They nearly all, when defending the breed, called them American Bulldogs or Staffordshire Terriers or some other pet name. You, in your answer, called them boxers. People who allow this to happen should lose their assets and be jailed. They all know an altercation is inevitable. The children, the poor little children, scarred, maimed for life in a flash by the parents' choice, owning and being with what they say is a loving, placid, calm, loyal pet. I ask them all the time, what makes this dog worth the risk? And they always say the same thing, no risk. I keep this letter, it's a letter, just reading it to you. I want you to show that to her, and to the grandfather. One day, your dogs are not going to be able to tell the difference between a next-door neighbor, who is a dog, and one of your kids. Just take a look.
If I may, my German Shepherd ended up with over 40 punctures.
Does it look like I'm needing any help from you?
No.
Did you see his dogs in your yard?
Yes.
All right. You weren't there?
No.
And you weren't there?
Not when it happened.
That's right. And you for sure weren't there?
No.
But you were, in fact, notified by one of them that this fence was defective, Miss Hughes. Is that right?
No. I had received messages left on my business line.
I said notified. You had been notified by the neighbors that the fence was defective.
I don't think the fence was ever discussed. I was notified that he had dogs, and I instantly called him and said, you don't have dogs there, you're not allowed to have dogs there. And the last phone call I had with him before the date of the attack, I was told that the dogs were gone. And
that was the day before the attack?
I think it was approximately a week before the attack. He told me the dogs were no longer on the property.
Good, I'm glad she evicted you.
I spoke with Laura on July 12th of 2017 when she called me back after I left her a message. And I let her know that her fence was being destroyed by the tenants' dogs, and she told me that they weren't supposed to have dogs there. And I have the phone records to prove that phone call.
You have the vet bills?
I gave you the phone bills and the text messages. These are the vet bills.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Oh, it was absolutely awful.
A lot of lies, a lot of things never mentioned.
That's a joke.
Didn't get my day in court.
Be better dog owners. Be more responsible.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Morgan versus O'Connor. Step forward.
Katie Ann Morgan is suing her ex-husband, Robert O'Connor, for the return of rent and utilities due to an illegal eviction.
Miss Morgan, how long were you and the defendant married?
We were married for 5 years.
And you have one child?
Yep.
How old is that child?
She's 11.
Who does she live with?
She currently lives with my mother and me. My mom has guardianship of her.
Do you live with your mom?
I had been in an abusive relationship back in 2014, and it had just gotten really out of hand, so my mom stepped in to help me.
Is the child with your mother just on a guardianship request, or was she placed there by social services?
Nope, guardianship request.
How long have you lived with your mother?
Now I've been there for about 3 months.
Prior to that, according to your complaint, you had been divorced from the defendant for quite some time, but you needed a place to stay. Now, you needed a place to stay, is that because of this abusive relationship or because your mother asked you to leave?
No, I was actually dating somebody else at the time, and me and him had ended our relationship, so I was looking for a new place to live at the time.
So why didn't you move in with your mother?
We were still mending our relationship from the past. Me and my mom were.
So Mr. O'Connor allowed you to move in with him with the agreement that you pay him $350 a month rent and some other conditions.
Yes.
When did you move in?
August 3rd.
And when did you move out?
August 12th.
So it didn't work out?
No, it did not.
Okay. Now I'd like you to tell me what you're suing him for.
So I had moved in August 3rd, and I had given him the rent money August 5th. And I had stayed there that whole week, but...
Don't tell me your whole story. I just asked you what you were suing him for.
He had wrongfully evicted me, basically.
That's a ridiculous cause of action. Did he give you kind of room? Did you rent it to your wife? Was it a room that you had previously had a tenant in?
Yes, ma'am. I did have previous. I had a before then, I had to throw him out because he was doing drugs.
When did you throw him out?
About a week before Miss Morgan came in.
And how long had he been living in your house doing drugs?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Her question was, so you're going to give me the $350 back? and you say to her, don't worry, I'm not going to blank anyone. I just want to live and see my kids.
Yes, Your Honor.
And later today.
Tell me about when you had, just before I throw everybody out, her and you. Tell me about you were living with your mom and you had some pain in your mouth?
Yes, that's not true.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Katie Ann Morgan says her ex-husband, Robert O'Connor, illegally evicted her. Robert is countersuing for harassment and lock-changing fees.
When did you throw him out?
About a week before Miss Morgan came in.
And how long had he been living in your house doing drugs?
I don't know how long he was doing drugs for, but as soon as I found out, I kicked him out.
That's not my question.
Yes, ma'am. I was there about 3 months.
And during that time, you had visitation with your children?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because you have more than... And it didn't work out with your former wife?
No, ma'am.
So you give her rent back. How much rent did she give you?
Nothing.
She didn't give you $350?
No, ma'am.
I have a police report.
Just a second. I just like to see proof that you gave him $350.
Absolutely, I have that.
Okay.
I think it's just those ones. Thank you.
She paid you $350.
No, Your Honor. I never received any payment from her.
Did you show this to him?
I also have my bank statement of the day I took the money out.
I don't see anything stating that I received any money from her.
Did you answer her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Just a second. Did you answer her when she said, as long as I'm going to get my money back? Is there anywhere that you say to her, what money? You didn't give me any money. I don't know what money you're talking about.
Not on this,
Mr. O'Connor?
No, not on this, Your Honor.
I'll look to see what you have to show me.
Okay.
If somebody said, as long as I get my money back, common sense would be, what money are you talking about? You didn't give me any money.
At that point in time, Your Honor, when I responded and wrote what I wrote, it was because I was being harassed, and I wanted the harassment to stop.
$300, unless you have something to the contrary. Her question was, so you're going to give me the $350 back. And you say to her, don't worry, I'm not going to blank anyone. I just want to live and see my kids.
Yes, Your Honor.
That was your response. Okay, show me, show me. I'm open, but I'm busy and I'm old.
Unfortunately, I don't have anything on me that...
Did you give him back his key?
No, I don't have
Okay, that's his counterclaim. He wants his lock fees and harassment he doesn't get. So instead of getting $350, you're going to get $300. Your counterclaim is dismissed. We're done with this case. Goodbye.
Your Honor,
good luck.
I have some proof showing my harassment and everything like that as well.
Goodbye. Good luck. Have a happy life.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
We wanted to get back together. I wasn't having it.
I think it was completely unfair.
I'm a single mom working very hard. I can't just throw money out the window.
I do owe money in child support. I don't owe as much as they're claiming.
I was getting mad that I wanted my money back, so it just kind of got heated.
It painted the real picture of who Miss Morgan is.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Johnson versus Johnson. Step forward.
Rakitha Johnson is suing her daughter, 22-year-old Sierra Johnson, for the value of a car, registration and insurance costs, and dental work.
Miss Johnson,
22.
And you and your daughter weren't living together. You bought her a car. She came back to live with you. You put the car in her name, which makes it her car.
Right.
While she was living with you, she was having some pain in her mouth. She had to have some dental work done, which she couldn't afford.
Yes.
So you paid to have the dental work done, which was, she needed an extraction.
Yes.
And you want that money back.
Yes, ma'am.
What other money do you want from her?
Ma'am?
For the car.
For the insurance and registration, because she agreed upon coming back that she would find a job, just try to improve her life, which was what I wanted from the beginning. And, you know, any monies that I had to come out, because my plan was to get a vehicle for myself.
I understand that you, as a mother, bought her a car, and your hope was that she would do better than what she was doing when she was not living with you. I got that. That's what this is about. The car is hers. It's in her name. You gave it to her. You put it in her name.
But it was contingent on her staying around.
No.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well,
it was contingent on her staying available so that I could also get to and from work. And she left me stranded.
Well, that's not a nice thing for her to do. next time you don't trust a 21-year-old. So you're not getting money?
No, I mean, absolutely. But this was my child, and I had no reason to think that we would end up here.
Well, you shouldn't have here.
Nope, you're right.
You shouldn't have been here. Did you tell your mother that you would pay her back for the registration and insurance on the car?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
That's what mothers are for.
But again, I mean, just like with the vehicle,
that's what
I don't
do.
have money to give away, Your Honor. I'm trying to get my own life together.
Good.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Rakitha Johnson says her daughter, Sierra Johnson, owes for a car and dental work. Sierra's countersuing for an unpaid title loan and toll fees.
Did you tell your mother that you would pay her back for the registration and insurance on the car? Or had the car already been insured and registered when you got home?
No, we registered it when I got home, and that's how we got it in my name, because we did all that when I got home.
And your mom paid for that?
Yes, she did put it in her my name, but my grandma paid for the registration, and...
That's not true.
Wait, is the registration the...
Title.
Whatever the inspection and
Whatever
the insurance. The
Whatever it was.
insurance.
When did this happen? Month and year?
April-ish, probably late.
April of this year?
Yes.
March 2018.
Okay, late March.
And her and you. Tell me about you. You were living with your mom and you had some pain in your mouth?
Yes, and she offered to pay for it.
No, just tell me what happened.
My tooth, I had to get it pulled. I was crying one night, and she offered to pay for it, and we got it done the next day.
Not offered. You might say, I am offering. You were crying one night because you were in pain, and... I mean, did you know it was wrong?
Well, yeah, I knew my tooth needed to be pulled, yes.
How did you know that?
Because it just hurt. It was hurting in that specific area.
In the back?
And only that tooth.
What was it, wisdom tooth? Mm-hmm. Did your mom go with you to the dentist?
No, my grandmother did.
Who did your mother give the money to, you or your grandmother?
Me.
To you?
Yes.
How much did she give you?
$200, I believe it was.
I gave her my card, Your Honor.
Card to pay for the extraction?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. That's what mothers are for.
But again, I mean, just like with the vehicle, I don't
do.
have money to give away, Your Honor. I'm trying to get my own life together.
Good.
I'm supposed to start school on October 29th. She was supposed to stay around. I had the money. Even after I had paid for the vehicle, I had already saved up more than half of what I needed to buy myself a car. But it kept coming out that I had to pay.
I'm not giving you any money. I'm not giving you any money. It's not happening. Put your hand down. Counterclaim is that your mom was running into some financial difficulty and she asked you to take a title. I don't want to hear you. Is that what happened?
Yes.
Are you still paying off the title loan?
No, I haven't paid anything.
Well, you should.
Well, yes, my responsibility now.
Yes, it is your responsibility. Otherwise, they're going to take your car.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Are you still paying off the title loan?
No, I haven't paid anything.
Well, you should.
Well, yes, my responsibility now.
Yes, it is your responsibility. Otherwise, they're going to take your car. So I suggest you do that. Do you understand?
Yes.
I suggest you start to do that, or else you're not going to have a car.
Exactly.
We're done here.
Your Honor, I still need to explain, though, that this was an agreement. She breached her verbal contract with me. She told me she was going to pay me back when she got her insurance settlement, but when her boyfriend, she reconciled with her boyfriend, then all of a sudden everything goes out the window. She now just up and leaves because she found out that he was in jail. He's got his own apartment, so why would she come back over here and make good with what she owes to me? I need to take care of my own self. I'm trying to go to school.
Got it? Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next...
Overall, I feel.
Obviously, yes, it's upsetting to me.
Going through a phase. We'll get over it.
I just hope she continues on.
I'll always be there for her, yes.
You know, a productive path in life, and I'm going to do the same.
Whether or not you hit her garage door, I haven't decided yet. Totally.
Neighbors of different ages face off.
You've never had any trouble with this lady before, have you?
I have, and there's been trouble with others, too.
Time to determine the real nuisance.
So he's very bright. He's a smart little boy.
Absolutely.
But he's cunning.
She terrorizes everybody in the neighborhood, and we have video to prove it.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Chayo Moreno is suing her neighbors, Jamar Miles and Crystal Stidham Miles, for damages to her garage door caused by their son and for harassment.
Order. All rise. It's case number 276 on the calendar in the matter of Moreno versus Stidham Miles.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Farr has been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Ms. Moreno, you and the defendant riding a skateboard and hit your garage door, causing a dent.
That's
You
correct.
want them to be responsible for paying for it. When did this happen?
July 31st, 2018, at about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Tell me what happened.
I was working in my office. I work from home, and I heard this loud bang, and I thought it's a tri-level, so I thought
Don't tell me what you thought. You heard a loud bang.
I heard a loud bang. I went all over the house thinking something fell out. I went to the garage. Nothing was down. I opened the garage, and the young boy was standing 1 to 2 feet away, and
away from
the garage with a skateboard with him. And
where was he holding the skateboard?
Actually, it was on the floor, but he had this skateboard, and I asked him, Christian, did you hit the garage?
Now, you said his name, so did you know his name?
Yes, he was a very nice boy, a very nice family at the time, and I knew his name.
Okay, so you said, Christian, did you hit the garage door?
Did you hit the garage? He said yes. It slipped while he's doing his maneuvers. And so then I hit the garage because I have a keypad. I brought it down, and there was the damage.
Did you bring something to show me?
I have a picture here.
Okay. May I see?
And there's a few in here.
Okay. What are you going to do to fix it?
Well, I had to change the panel. It's been changed. I changed the panel, not the whole garage, one panel, and it is custom paint, so I also had to pay for the paint.
Okay.
And the painter.
And how much did that cost you?
It's a total of $800. $600 for the panel and $200 for the person to come out and paint it.
You have the bills for that?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it.
Here is the canceled checks for the estimate and the invoice and for the paint.
Thank you. All right, Christian. I don't care what you told your mother. I don't care what you told your father. Certain things make sense and certain things don't make sense. You've never had any trouble with this lady before, have you?
I have, and there's been trouble with others, too.
Don't tell me about others. Just tell me what difficulty you've had with the plaintiff.
I've been at the public park. There's a public park. She's recorded me and my friends playing outside at a public park.
So according to you, Christian, you've had difficulty with her before this day, this incident with the garage door?
Yes.
So why would you play around her garage door? I want you to think about my question. If you've had... Don't. Listen to me. I don't want you to speak. Okay. I want you to answer my question. If you've had difficulty with someone before, and so I assume you've told your parents about it, well, they would say to you, stay far away from her. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? Yes. Well, then I want you to tell me. There's no question in my mind that when the plaintiff opened her garage door, you were there. I want you to understand that, because that makes sense to me. Do you understand?
Yes.
Whether or not you hit her garage door, I haven't decided yet, totally. But there's no question that you were right outside her garage door when she opened the garage door.
Not right outside.
There's no question in my mind that you were right outside her garage. Now, by the time she checked her house and got downstairs, by that time, you may have been a couple of feet away. You were the only one there near her garage door, and you had a skateboard.
Yes.
So my question to you, Christian, is what were you doing near her house and garage door?
Skateboarding.
Why didn't you skateboard someplace else?
At 2:30, I was at school. She claims that this happened at 2:30. I was at school, and she has cameras in the back coming out of her window facing her garage.
Mm-hmm. Go sit down. Ball's in your court. I want you to tell me, did she come over to you on the 31st or thereafter to advise you that there had been a problem with your son?
No, ma'am.
When did she come over?
She did not come over at all.
Did you call?
I went to her house at around 5:30 p.m. after I came home from work. My husband was actually home when this incident apparently
just a second.
occurred.
Great. Did the plaintiff contact you?
No, Your Honor. So on the day in question,
7:31.
At the time that this allegedly happened, I was inside of my residence, and this exchange that occurred was not brought up to me. I found it a bit odd and unusual.
Listen to me. sometime on the 31st, you discovered, either through conversation with your son or with the plaintiff, that it was alleged that your son, by accident, damaged her garage door. All I want you to tell me is, was it from your son or from the plaintiff?
From myself. I informed him.
Just a second. Well, you came home at 5:30.
My son informed me.
So, that you were not at home.
Correct. I was not correct.
You were not at home. Your husband was at home. If you were not at home, then you got a phone call, text, message from somebody.
No, ma'am.
Well, then how did you find out? You had a crystal ball?
My son told me, so I drove home and I walked in the house. She didn't tell us immediately.
I want you to understand there's no question in my mind that your son damaged her garage door. Now, you can stand there because she's not crazy and your son was there. Despite the fact that he says, I was at school, it couldn't have been me, there's no question in my mind that your son was there and had a conversation with her. Pay attention, pay attention to her and had a conversation with her, despite the fact that he sat up here 2 seconds ago and said she said it occurred at 2:30 and I was in school, I couldn't have been there. Are you not following?
I am.
Just take it down. So there's no question in my mind that your son was there and had a conversation with the plaintiff. There's also no question that your son, despite the fact that his father, listen to me carefully, that his father was home, didn't tell his father, waited until you came home 3 hours later.
It wasn't 3 hours later. He didn't get home until 4 p.m.
Listen to me.
My son didn't get home till 4 p.m. and she refused to talk to my husband. That's what you're not hearing about.
Joe, just a second. Are you telling me that the plaintiff tried to talk to your husband or he tried to talk?
According to my son, and you can bring him back up there, what he told me is he said, who is home? He responded that my dad is home. She said, well, when your mother gets home, tell her to come see me.
Now, listen,
I came at 5:30.
Just a second.
I have no reason to make that up.
Listen to what you're saying. You're saying that what he did, and he's a smart little boy.
Absolutely.
But he's cunning. Because if a little boy is accused by a neighbor of doing something that they didn't do, the first thing that they would do is go in and tell their parent who was home. Mrs. So-and-so said that I damaged her door, but I didn't do it. Or I did because she videotapes me and my friends when we're out playing in a public park. So he's very bright, manipulative. That's what they are. No. So he didn't go and tell your husband.
No. My son is very smart, but not manipulative.
Oh,
I know.
Madam.
No.
Madam, pay very careful attention to me. Is what you're telling me if she says it was at 2:30 and you're saying it happened at 4 o'clock.
No.
What difference does it make?
Because her story's changing. She's saying it happened between 2:30 and 3:30, and
How long have you been living in your house?
Maybe 5 months.
May
I say it's not a house, it's a condo, so that's why they're so close to each other, and he would be playing in the quad area, which is where all the garages are. And he skateboarded back and forth. So just to
That's one excuse. That's one excuse after another. You keep making excuses.
It's not an excuse.
Keep making excuses.
She terrorizes everybody in the neighborhood, and we have video to prove it, of her just random harassment. Oh, and that's another thing she's suing us for, apparently, is harassment.
No, I'm not. She's not suing you for harassment. I'm only interested in garage door. Dent on garage door. And one excuse after another. Wasn't it 2:30? It was at 4:30. He didn't tell his father because she told him to just tell his mother to come and see me.
Ask her. Ask her.
Just a
she
second.
told me that. She even said it when I came to her house.
She said, what you're telling me. How many children do you have?
I have 2 children.
Okay.
Right here.
Good.
And they're both very different. And I know both of their vices, and one is Christian, he's actually a very honest child. He's a smart child. He's in gifted and talented classes, straight A student. I have letters from his teacher about his character. He's on the Military Ambassador Club.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $800.
Can I ask about the harassment?
No.
Because
we're done.
Okay. I mean, they continue to harass me for 79 months because of the fact that they didn't pay, and I'd just like to prove I have 10 items.
Listen to me. I'm awarding you $800.
Plus the $10 that they commit. They're teaching
Did you understand what I just said to you?
Yeah, but
did you understand what I just said to you?
I understood.
Very good. Accept it. Exit. He damaged your door. I know it, and he knows it.
And we got
we're done.
I also paid him to do a job.
We are done.
I also paid him to do a job, and they're teaching him not to be accountable. It's the same variable.
Bird,
someone
show her the
can't
door.
do a job when...
You may step out.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad that she saw that he did do it.
She would have it on camera if it did happen, but it didn't, so therefore it's not on camera.
I hope that they also leave me and not harass me anymore.
From day one, we were warned that to watch out for her.
And
Neal versus Vargas. Step forward.
Salon owner Douglas McNeil is suing his former client, Rebecca Vargas, for services rendered, lost wages, and defamation.
Mr. McNeil, you have a hairdressing salon.
I do.
And Miss Vargas was a client of yours.
Yes, ma'am, she was.
Do you remember when she first came into your salon?
It was around October the 14th of 2017.
And after October 14th of 2017, how many more times did she come to the salon?
She came periodically every 3 to 6 months for touch-ups.
And who did her touch-up?
I did.
So she came to you for approximately a year and some, so she came maybe 3 times, 3 to 6 months. So it would be
yes, ma'am, around that.
How many times, Miss Vargas, did you go to Mr. McNeil's salon?
I believe I went to his salon 4 or 5 times.
Great. The last time you went, were you paid by credit card?
I did.
The previous times, did you have the same kind of service?
I honestly, now retrospectively, I'm not sure what he did each time, but the amount was different each time.
Are you telling me that you don't remember what service plaintiff? Do you have your hair colored?
See, I'm very new to having my hair colored in any way.
That's very easy.
Judge Judy continues.
Somebody had put in.
No, my own natural color.
He was taking out your natural color?
Yes.
Are you crazy? If somebody says to you they have to take out the natural color in your hair, you say, what?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Salon owner Douglas McNeil says his former client, Rebecca Vargas, reversed the charges for services he rendered. Rebecca's countersuing for misrepresentation and negligence.
Okay, either you brush your teeth in the morning or you don't. You wash your face in the morning, you take a shower.
Well,
you color your hair or you don't color your hair. You color your hair burnt? The answer is no. I color my hair. So the answer is either yes or no. So you color your hair. Did you have it colored from October of 2017 up until June of 2018 by anyone other than Mr. McNeil?
No. And just to have clarity on the color is I know he was removing color from my hair, which is called something else, and I'm still working with the terminology that they use in salons. So I'm sorry.
So he was taking out color that somebody had put in?
No, my own natural color.
He was taking out your natural color?
Yes.
Are you crazy?
That's what he said had to happen. He's the expert.
No, Miss Vargas.
Okay.
You don't look like an idiot.
Thank you.
Your hair, you say, what?
Well, he said to do what he needed to do, which was a technique called balayage or balayage, that was needed to...
Tell me what you wanted when you went to the salon. You go to a salon, you don't walk in there, you say, well, I'm going to go window shopping, see something's on sale.
True.
You make an appointment to go to a salon because you want a particular service.
Indeed.
Okay? And what service did you want when you went to Mr. McNeil's salon? And tell me your interpretation of what balayage means.
Absolutely. I looked at it as a contrast of something that I also saw that I was considering that was called ombre. Ombre is where you take the darker hair and then it fades into like a lighter color on the bottom, where balayage is a painting technique that mixes like the different tones in like a natural kind of way that doesn't fade from top to bottom, but more as a out to in, if that makes sense.
Oh, my God.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She's pretty much drugged my salon's name through she's put out bad reviews.
She's allowed to do that.
But it's not true, Your Honor.
But I don't know if it's true or not. It's part of the risk that you take of being on the internet.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Salon owner Rebecca Vargas reversed the charges for services he rendered. Rebecca's countersuing for misrepresentation and negligence.
Okay. So he charged you different amounts for the 4 times that you went.
Yes.
And the 5th time, what did he charge you?
$220.
And the last one for $220 was when?
That was on June 20th.
Did you reverse that charge?
No, I reversed a charge for $480 that was on my card from Douglas.
When was $480 put on your card?
That very evening.
I thought June 20th was 220.
Me too.
Is what you're saying it should have been 220, but he charged you 480?
Yes, and that's where the confusion lies, Your Honor.
Okay. So can I see your charge for 480?
Yes.
Thank you. Because that's what your lawsuit is. You said she reversed the charge, and that's what you're suing for.
Yes, ma'am.
And a whole lot of other nonsense.
Yeah.
I have a card for your P.R. Douglas. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am, that's me.
$480, June 20th. What for?
I did a balayage, a haircut, deep conditioning, and toning on her hair.
And did you at some point tell her that you had made a mistake by charging $480?
No, ma'am, because it originally was not my mistake. It was her mistake.
Just a second. How much was the service?
The service was
here.
Correct.
And the mistake was?
She entered $250 for the tip. I brought it to her attention at the end of the sale. I said, did you mean to pay me $480? She said
well,
no.
Well, 220 and 250 is 470, not 480.
Because she added a $10 tip on there as well, Your Honor. But I refunded her the $250 that very same day, which left at $230.
Do you have something to show me that
I
you
sure
did
do.
That? May I see it, please?
May I bring this to the court's attention at this time?
Here you go, sir.
No. So the service was $220. She, by mistake, instead of a $25 tip,
she put in
$250 tip, which comes to the $480.
Yes.
Now I have total sale $480. On June 20th, the plaintiff refunded on your Amex $250, leaving what the charge was as $220.
No.
Did you ever, just answer my question, did you ever reverse the $220?
I never reversed $220.
I have proof that she reversed the $230.
Or $230.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
May I see it? Did you reverse $230?
Yes.
Then you owe him $220. Why did you reverse?
It looks that way, and I'm just ready for whenever you're ready for me.
I'm ready.
Okay.
You're going to have to show me.
Yeah, that's fine.
You're going
to
have
bring
to
this
show
to court right now?
Just a second.
Okay.
Did you pay him?
Yes.
$220?
No.
Then you owe him $220.
I got the $230 back on my credit card October 7th.
So did you return it to him?
No, because he...
Then you owe him $220.
He served me to be in court.
Okay. Well, you owe him $220.
As it stands right now in this part of the story, yes, indeed.
That's the only story I'm interested in. I'm not interested in your nonsense of his gross negligence. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in anything else.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, she got her money back, but she didn't get it back until October. This happened in June?
Yes, ma'am.
That's a long time. June, July, August, September, October, which is when she was notified that she finally got her money back from American Express. You're owed your money.
Yes.
That's
also,
all.
Your Honor, she's pretty much drugged my salon's name through she's put out bad reviews.
She's allowed to do that. Just a second.
But it's not true, Your Honor.
But I don't know if it's true or not. She's allowed to do that. If you advertise on the internet and you're involved with social media, somebody can put in a review. It's part of the risk. $20. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
There's nothing honest about this person.
I love Judge Judy's decision. She hit the nail right on the head.
He's been doing all kinds of shady stuff.
This lady is very deceitful. She's a liar.
You have not been doing the right thing with your business.
And I'm going to warn any hairdresser out there, be warned of people like this.
I hope he learns a lesson and stop lying.
Have your guards up when you're starting your small businesses. Know who your clients are.
The boyfriend.
He bought you a car because?
I didn't have a car to get to work.
I know a lot of people that don't have cars.
Yeah, well...
The girlfriend.
He was also in love with me. He's still in love with me.
But he will only be pushed so far.
She's like, well, you should sign the car over to me. And I said, never in your life, because you're going to leave me when your husband gets out of jail, and I'm not risking that.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
James Miklich is suing his ex-girlfriend, 22 for value of a Kia Optima.
Order. All rise.
That's case number 286 on the calendar, the matter of Miklich versus Walker.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. Miklich, on what date did you meet Miss Walker and how?
I do not know the exact date. It was September of last year. Was at a concert at a bar down where we live.
It was at a bar?
Yes.
And when did the two of you start to date?
The relationship, I guess, started slow. I don't know if you would call it dating at that point, but we talked a month or two, and then just started hanging out more and more. Then, I don't know, she left out of town, went to Oklahoma, I believe. So we didn't talk for a couple months, and then when she came back, we started to have a real relationship.
What month was that?
That she got back, it must have been...
When did you get back from Oklahoma?
May.
May of 2018. What were you doing in Oklahoma?
I was visiting family.
Do you work?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I help mentally ill people.
How do you help them?
I watch them, teach them, show them their daily routines, remind them of what they need to be doing.
Are you a full-time caregiver for somebody? One individual or more than one individual?
There was 3, now it's only 1.
And you do that in their
homes, the company.
So you're paid by the hour?
Yes.
How much?
$11.25.
And how many hours a week do you work?
Right now it is 65.
When was your husband incarcerated?
He was incarcerated 2016.
For what?
March. Federal fraud.
Federal fraud?
Yes.
What did he do?
He took credit cards.
He stole credit cards?
Yes, ma'am.
And used them?
Yes, ma'am. And that was also before I met him.
Okay, but he was sentenced in 2016.
Yep.
And how long had you been married in 2016?
We got married in 2016.
You married him while he was under indictment?
Yes, ma'am.
Was he incarcerated when you married him?
No.
Now, when you met Mr. Miklich and started to date in May of 2018, because that's when he said that you started to date, when did you tell Mr. Miklich that you were married?
The first day I met him.
Is that correct?
No, it wasn't the first day she met me, but I knew previous to that, yeah. I was under the influence that...
Not you were under the influence. Under the influence...
Well, I was told by
the influence means that you were taking drugs or alcohol.
No, I was told by the
You were
defendant.
under the impression.
Yeah.
That,
in her words, she was just holding him down while he's in prison because he has nobody. And she actually left him before he went to prison for somebody else. And then when he gets out, she is divorcing him.
Is that what she told you?
100%, yes.
A visit with her husband while you were together?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. So in September, Miss Walker was in a car accident. She didn't have a vehicle, whatever. And sometime in September, Mr. Miklich bought you a car.
Yes, ma'am.
What date in September?
September 4th.
And he bought you a car because?
Well, because I didn't have a car to get to work.
I know a lot of people that don't have cars.
Yeah, well, he was also in love with me. He's still in love with me. He was thinking about getting married with me.
So he bought you the car because he was in love with you.
That's not the only thing he bought me. He bought me rings, jewelry,
But he's not
shoes.
asking for any of that back, just the car.
Yes, ma'am.
So he bought you the car because he was in love with you.
Yes.
Did you tell him that as soon as your husband got out of jail in March of 2019, you were going back to your husband? Did you tell him that?
Yes, I told him I was going back to my husband.
Just a second. I don't believe that. So, now we're September 4th, 2018, and the plaintiff buys a car. She says she gave you $1,000 towards the down payment. Do you have any proof of that? That's either yes or no.
Ma'am, I worked for him, for his construction place for 3 weeks, and I made $1,000. He did. Yes, ma'am.
So he bought you a car on September 4th?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have the paperwork on the car?
Yeah.
I'd like to take a look at it.
I have a copy of my check, the purchase agreement.
No, I believe that you paid. Listen to me. I believe that you paid for it.
Well, no, and a letter from the car dealership that states that I was the only name on the title.
Look, I'd like to see the paperwork on the car.
Okay.
No, don't give me all the junk. Just give me the paperwork on the car.
There you go. I don't know which one you want.
I want the paperwork on the car.
That's what I'm handing him.
I don't look at letters from a dealership.
Okay.
Just the paperwork on the car. Great. Said sold to you.
Yep. And there's a spot on there for a cosigner, too.
I see it. No, just a second. I see it. She neither signed it or is her name on it.
No.
Great. Now, then you went on vacation on what date? You went to Vegas?
I bought the car on...
the 4th?
Tuesday the 4th. And then we left for Vegas on the 6th.
September 6th?
Yep. And that morning, her stepdad had passed.
How did you know that?
Well, we had given him a ride home from the hospital the previous night. He checked out of the emergency room, and then she had got a phone call early that morning. We were supposed to get up and leave at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and she got a phone call probably like 6:30 that he had passed, and he was still there, unconscious on the floor.
Okay, but you still went on...
And we still went on the vacation anyways, which was, I don't know, the first day was tough on Miss Walker.
Well, she could have stayed, but where did you go on vacation?
We flew into Las Vegas, and then we drove to Oceanside for a concert, and then returned to Las Vegas on the 9th, and flew out on the 10th.
Who flew out on the 10th?
Me and Miss Walker.
Two of you?
Yep.
Flew out on the 10th, and where did you go?
We flew into Minneapolis and drove to Detroit Lakes, where we both live. And then after that, I went to work because I have a construction company, and we had a little out-of-town job going on.
So that's on the 10th?
I didn't go to work until the 11th.
Okay, so far are all those dates correct?
A Tuesday.
Yes, madam. And we're up to the 11th. So you got this new car. He bought the car on the 4th. Now we're the 11th. You're back from holiday. Don't spend that with your mother, who's grieving over the loss of her husband. You went to Vegas instead, and now it's the 11th.
That's correct.
What happened? Give me the timeline.
11th, I drove my work truck to the town. It's called Inkster. It's up by Grand Forks. Is that 2 hours away from...
You drove your truck.
2 hours away from where I live, so I was going to go out of town for the week. And my coworker's grandpa was sick and in the hospital and wasn't going to make it much longer, so we decided to come home, and we would go back the following week. So I came home on Thursday.
What date?
The 13th.
September 13th, what happened?
She came to my house, and she had a puppy in my house that, I don't know, apparently she was hiding because the owners of the dog wanted it back. A different long story anyways. And she came to do some laundry, and
well,
she made
what is she doing? I thought you lived together.
She has her own apartment, but
oh, okay.
She stays at my house like 90% of the time, I would say.
Okay, so on the 13th, she came to your house, do some laundry. There was a puppy there. What kind of puppy?
A pit bull.
What was it doing in his house?
He said I can bring my dog there.
Which is fine.
Okay, I mean, just a second. So on the 13th, she came there. She was picking up the dog?
Well, I'm not exactly sure. I think that she was maybe going to stay. We got in an argument.
You got into an argument on September 13th?
Yes.
About what?
Well, she made a joke that she signed the car over in her own name, and I was like, no. And then...
I told him
and then that kind of passed, and then she's like, well, you should sign the car over to me. And I said, never in your life, because you're going to leave me when your husband gets out of jail, and I'm not risking that. And then she got mad at me, stormed out and left. The next text I got from her, the next text I got from her was the next day that said, will you put my laundry in the dryer? And I said, already did it. And then after that, nothing.
Did she take the dog with her?
She took the dog with her, yes.
Okay, so she took the dog and your car.
Yep.
Not yet.
Following day.
So she took the dog and your car.
Your Honor, it was my car, and it is my car.
Just a second.
I have the registration right here and the title.
Listen to me. I don't care what you have. I am going to determine whether it's your car.
Okay.
And if I determine it's not your car, I will issue an order that the car is to be returned to him and the title is to be reverted because you forged his signature to the title. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand? I just want you to understand what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. When was the next time you heard from her?
I didn't hear from her at all. She never...
Next time?
I went to her apartment.
On what date?
I went to her apartment on the 17th because I got a text from my daughter that asked me, is her husband out of jail? And I was kind of shocked. I thought she was away at a funeral talking to her mom.
So on the 17th, you went to her house?
Yes.
So the 13th was a Thursday. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have Thursday, Friday is the 14th, 15th, 16th. What time on the 17th did you go?
I'm going to, I have the police report right here. I guess that would be an accurate assessment of when it was. It was, well, their time is in military time, 1641, I'm assuming.
All right.
I don't know.
Very good.
That time is, I'm not in the military.
Very good. And you want your car back?
Oh, absolutely. I got to the apartment and there was...
You had purchased the car. Were there license plates on the car?
No, ma'am. There was a temporary registration. Issued in my name.
When you got to the apartment, the temporary plates had been substituted with permanent plates.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I'd like to see when you registered the car. Miss Walker, did you understand my statement?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to see when you registered the car. What date did you register the car?
The 17th.
Car's going back to him. I'll take a look at it, though, Bird. The car car, Miss Walker, is his, belongs to him. You forged his name on the 17th when you titled the car.
How would I forward his name, ma'am?
Well,
how would I erase his name?
No. Listen to me. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today.
That's not a job.
Okay.
25-year-old person doesn't take care of their grandfather. 25-year-old person has a job, especially when they're taking money from little old ladies. Now, when did you start taking money from the plaintiff?
Early July.
Why?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
James Miklich says ex-girlfriend Chartina Walker is withholding a car that's in his name.
The car, Miss Walker, is his. When you titled the car...
How would I forward his name, ma'am?
How would I
erase his
No.
name?
Listen to me. Don't say anything.
Okay.
Don't say anything.
He handed the title over to me, and I signed it the day we bought the car.
I don't believe you. He's getting his car back. Let your husband buy your car. Do you understand?
He wants to be my husband.
Just a second. Let your husband buy you a car. Where do you come from? What?
Becker.
Becker where?
Detroit Lakes.
Is that in Michigan?
Minnesota.
In Minnesota?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you fly here?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to fly home?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like us to pay for your flight home?
Yes, ma'am.
I strongly urge you to sign the title over to him. Do you understand? The court will issue an order to the Department of Motor Vehicles to return this car to you as titled owner. We're done. Goodbye.
All right, sir, excuse me. Step out.
I would not date a person that was gonna be married and continue to be married.
Yeah, my husband was aware of it.
Yeah, I got to meet him right away.
If he wanted to spend the money, let him spend the money.
He knew everything about what was going on, too. The defendant had told her about our relationship.
Me and him had a good relationship, but
Be careful who you trust.
I did not tell him I was leaving my husband for him.
Super glad it's over.
Yes, I am back with my husband and happy.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Noteware versus Boydston. Step forward.
Marlene Noble Keith Boydston for unpaid loans and harassment.
How old are you?
25.
What do you do?
Right now, I'm helping take care of my grandfather, who's 90, and then I'm also...
That's not a job.
Okay.
25-year-old person doesn't take care of their grandfather. 25-year-old person has a job, especially when they're taking money from little old ladies. So what do you do to support yourself?
Right now, a waiter at Applebee's.
How many hours?
Just started 35 to 40.
What do you mean you just started? When did you just start?
Well, I just moved to California, so...
When did you just start waiting at Applebee's?
3 weeks ago.
When did you start taking money from the plaintiff?
Early July.
Why?
Me and her would have conversations on the phone.
Listen to me. She and I would have conversations on the phone. Go ahead.
And we would just talk, and we would talk about problems that were going on. And
listen to me. Is she related to you?
We met through a mutual friend.
Is she related? Listen, did you graduate from high school?
Yes. Good. With the person that lives with her.
Is she related to you?
No, no, ma'am.
That's a no. How did you meet her?
Through my roommate, who is pretty much like her adopted son, I guess.
Just a second. Just answer my question. No editorializing, sir. You met her through your roommate.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Roommate where?
In Bolivar, Missouri.
And did you have a job in Missouri?
Yes.
Doing what?
Working for an HVAC company.
Elsewhere?
Everything started falling apart.
What started falling apart?
We weren't able to make rent because Ryan, who lives with her now...
You didn't make rent?
I made my rent. He didn't make his half of the rent.
So?
And she wasn't able to make his half of the rent, and so we lost the apartment.
What's a she wasn't able to make?
He.
Oh, he.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. He wasn't able to make his half of the rent, so then you were homeless.
We're on the verge, yes. She loaned me money. My father passed away. He left me an RV, and I was...
Who loaned you money?
Marlene.
The plaintiff?
Yeah.
How much did she loan you? Is not an answer.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
When you called her and asked for money and she said no for the third or fourth time, what did you say to her?
When was this?
Are you asking me? I wasn't there. I have a job. Full time.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Marlene Noteware is suing her former friend, 25-year-old Keith Boydston, for unpaid loans and harassment.
Who loaned you money?
Marlene.
The plaintiff?
Yeah.
How much did she loan you? Is not an answer. You said Miss Noteworthy loaned me some... is not an answer.
I'm not 100% sure on that.
You're not sure?
Yeah, because it really...
Just a second. If you're not sure, that makes my life much easier, sir. If you're not sure, then Miss Noteware is sure.
I'm very sure,
How
Your
much
Honor.
money did you loan him?
$780.
Great. You see, he's not sure. You're sure.
I'm very sure.
Okay. Well, he acknowledges the loan. Just a second, Miss Noteware. You made my life easier. Some cases take a long time. Some cases take a short time. Mr. whatever his name is, Mr. I take care of my grandfather, he says that you loaned him money. He wasn't sure of the amount. You're sure of the amount, $780. Is that right?
Could I say something else, Your Honor?
What? $780. That's what he owes you.
Plus, I went to court and filed a harassment charge. He almost made me have a nervous breakdown one day. I have Addison's disease, a chronic anxiety disorder. I had to get a job to drive a bus. I am a senior citizen getting Social Security disability. He called me and called me.
Don't lend strangers money. He's a wise guy.
Called me and called me and called me like 8 times one day.
Miss Noteware, the problem is, and I read the complaint, and I even read his answer to the complaint, of helping out a young man, not him. He was living with him. They were roommates. Is that right?
Yep.
Not yet. Yes is the answer. And Mr. 6'3", and I can't take care of myself, but I'm going to take care of my 90-year-old grandfather. He said, well, if she's giving money to my roommate, maybe she'll give me money, too. So he called, asked you for money, said, whatever. He doesn't describe it as a loan, but since he just acknowledged to me today it was a loan and he didn't know how much, that's what it is. Now, he also acknowledges that he called you several times for money when you said no. Now, when you called her and asked for money and she said no for the 3rd or 4th time, what did you say to her? What did you say to her?
When was this?
Are you asking me? I wasn't there. I have a job. Full time.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, when you called her and asked for money and she said no for the 3rd or 4th time, what did you say to her? What did you say to her?
When was this?
Are you asking me? I wasn't there. I have a job. Full time.
Okay.
And I'm not 25. When you give you any money, what did you say to her?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember. I don't recall.
What did he say to you?
He kept calling and texting me.
Okay. Change your number.
Kept saying
Change your
no,
number.
and he didn't understand.
You shouldn't have given him money
means.
to begin with. Judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $780. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Judge Judy was excellent. She's very perceptive.
We did have a payment arrangement. It was whenever I was able to get up on my own feet.
She sees through the scheme.
I just wasn't able to until now. I was actually about to start making those payments.
There was no relationship. He was a friend of my adopted son.
I wish it wouldn't have went that way.
I tend to trust people, and it sort of gets me in trouble. But
she's a good person, and
I probably need to stop doing that.
I hope we're able to talk and move past it.
Again, I'm trustworthy and try to help people, and
I feel bad.
It gets me in trouble.
So far, you've got thousands of dollars of her money, and she can't move into her house.
This contractor says he put in the time.
How many days did you work there, Mr. Joyner?
2 weeks. He was only there maybe 2 or 3 days.
Then he began to feel unwanted.
I hired my people out from underneath me. She started to pay them directly and told me she doesn't need me anymore.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Sharon Grollo is suing her former contractor, William Joyner, for failing to complete work on her home.
Order. All rise.
This case number 174 on the calendar in the matter of Grollo versus Joyner.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Mr. Joyner, you're a contractor?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have your own company or do you work for someone else?
I have my own business.
How long have you been in the business?
Since 2010.
How many employees do you have?
Depending on the job site, between 2 and 5.
Are these full-time employees or people that sit up? Are these full-time employees or people that you pick up?
2 of them were full-time. The other guys would be as needed.
How did you find Mr. Joyner to refurbish your house?
Through my witness, Anthony Perkins.
You mean he came recommended to you through this witness?
Yes, ma'am.
You had purchased a house?
I was given a house, so.
By whom?
A friend of mine. It was a handyman special. It needed some work done when.
What does that mean?
She no longer needed the house, so she gave it to me as like a gift. I don't know. I didn't pay for it.
What's the person's name who gave you this house?
Her name is Megan. I can't pronounce her last name.
I know for that. She told me she paid $5,000 for a trailer. It's not even a house.
Is that what it is? Is it a trailer?
Yes, ma'am, it's a trailer.
Is it on a lot?
Yes, ma'am.
You pay rent on the lot?
Yes.
But the trailer needed a lot of work.
Yes.
On what date did you hire the defendant?
Approximately June 30th.
How much money did you give him?
We had an original contract. I had given him $2,000.
Did you have a contract in writing?
Yes, we did.
I'd like to take a look at it.
That one I do not have. We voided that contract and got another contract.
I'd like to see that. So on July 3rd, she paid you $6,000.
No.
How much did she pay you?
$1,500 and an $800 Home Depot card.
Let's go slowly. $1,500.
And an $800 Home Depot gift card.
And the job was to be completed in 2 weeks.
Approximately.
The job was to be completed in 2 weeks.
She gave me other Home Depot cards.
How many?
I don't even remember. I think it totaled out to $5,800 total.
So she paid you $5,800.
Between the $2,000 that she put down at first for the interior of the house.
Oh, no, just a second. Mr. Joyner, you say she gave you $1,500 and an $800 Home Depot card. Now you say she gave you $2,000.
There was two contracts. The first contract was for flooring. She had 700 square feet of laminate to be put in at $2 a foot. That comes out to $1,400. The contract was for $38 total. She gave me $2,000 down. I was going to paint the interior of her house, redo her backsplash.
No, I have the only written contract I have.
That contract got voided because there was 2 walls that needed repaired. She had a lot of water damage coming into her home.
Listen to me carefully. All I'm asking you is, how much money did she give you pursuant to this second contract, which required she pay you $6,000.
That was the beginning of the contract. That was an open end.
No.
It's circled. It says open end.
Listen to me, Mr. Joyner. How much money did she give you pursuant to this second contract, which is the only one I have?
$3,800 total.
And for the $6,000, you were to do 12 square look of vinyl siding installed, remove old siding, and replace all damaged wood, all material of that. Remove and replace any up to all windows supplied by customers. Any, what is that word, Bird? Remove and replace.
I'd be guessing, Judge. I don't know what that is.
Number 2, remove and replace something up to all windows supplied by customers. What word is that?
Give me 1 second.
Who wrote this?
I did. Remove and replace any up to all windows supplied by customer.
Place any up to all windows, but the windows were to be supplied by the customer.
Correct.
Did you remove and replace any windows?
Yes.
How many?
2.
And were they supplied by the customer?
No, I actually, yes. Well, she paid me to get
for
them
it.
for her.
Okay,
yes.
So that was accomplished.
Yes.
Repair back bedroom wall and small bedroom wall and ceiling. Did you do that?
Yes.
Did he do that?
He did put 2 windows in, but I gave him $400 to go buy brand new windows from someone.
No, he says.
Yes, but he put broke windows in, not the windows that.
Where do you get $400 in brand new windows for 12 windows?
Don't speak to her.
I apologize.
I had purchased some windows from someone on Facebook. They had brand new windows. They had enough to do my trailer.
Okay, let's move on.
I gave him $400.
Repair back bedroom wall and small bedroom
wall. Yes, the second
So the
bedroom
answer is no. You did not complete that.
That is where the stipulations came in. She had 1/4-inch paneling on the wall. I pulled the paneling down. I pulled the insulation out, and I was looking at siding. There's no walls, and everything is rotted. There's termites infested this entire
Mr.
trailer,
Joyner,
which is when we began the new contract.
You have another written contract?
No. The second contract was written after the $2,000 was deposited. I wrote this on the 3rd. She wanted me to do the interior of the house. I said, there's no possible way I can do the interior, put your flooring in with all of the water damage coming in. It will ruin everything you have.
Mr. Joyner.
When I opened up the wall...
Mr. Joyner. You're the contractor. Before you accept a job, pay attention. You don't have your listening ears on, sir. Listening ears. Before you accept a job and take anybody's money for anything, you're the expert. You're supposed to figure out by looking, drilling a hole, seeing what's behind it. You're supposed to figure out how much it is to give the purchaser a reasonable estimate of what it's going to cost. That's your job as the expert. Don't tell me when you went to take a wall down, you found that there was nothing behind it, so you had to add on to this bill because of this circled item subject to additions. Because that leaves the purchaser in a very bad place. You understand that? That leaves the purchaser in the place, well, bring your car in, you need a new light bulb. Well, then you get a call an hour later and you say, you know what? You don't need a new bulb in your front headlight. The whole gizmo of the inside of your car is rotted away. So if you want your car back, you have to pay me not $25 to put in a new light bulb, you got to pay me $2,500 to put in a new gizmo. So far, you've got thousands of dollars of her money, and she can't move into her house. And you say you're covered because there was even more damage to the house, and that's covered by your contract with your circle subject to additions. She didn't add anything. You were supposed to fix the house so that she could live in it, and you didn't do that. $2,000 paid on June 30th, $2,000. $4,000 due for the next phase to begin. Spray for insects, entire home in and out. Paid $1,500 cash and an $800 Home Depot card. Well, I thought that was the initial thing for the floor.
No, the $2,000 was her initial down payment for flooring and paint. When I took the wall down, there's no walls there. There's no way for me to tell you how. I have no idea. It's 60 foot long on each side. How do I know what part of this 60 foot is damaged and what's not until I look at every piece of it?
I would like you to show me pictures of the way the house currently looks now. So far, how much in total have you paid him?
I did give him $400 for the windows. He broke once. He did give me the $400 back.
He gave it back to you?
The $400 for the windows, he did return that, but that's not included in the $5,800. I gave him $5,800, and I gave his worker, which is his stepson, $400.
Okay, I'd like to see what the house looks like now.
My pictures got damaged, but I have them all on my phone. Give her this. Okay, what it looks like. These are all the pictures starting here for what it looks like before he started the work, and then the befores and afters. At this point, it's the outside's finished, except for the skirting around it.
Who did that?
Him and neighbors and friends.
That's starting. If you slide to your...
Excuse me, Anthony Perkins.
If you slide to your right, you should come up to current pictures at some point.
Well, there are things in here, so it looks as if it's finished.
That's what it looked like before. The windows were broken, and where it rained, the water went down in and rotted the wood.
Oh, that's the way it started?
Yes.
I would like to see what it looked like when he got finished with it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Before somebody else fixed it. I see it's a disaster.
And 15 sheets of, I don't know what you call it, 4x8 press wood or whatever, and 13 2x4s. But the 4x8 wood was left there. It wasn't put up. I had to pay someone to put it up.
What is this a picture of?
That is one of the back walls that he was supposed to do.
And what about this?
That's what was left. When he left and never came back.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your Honor, he only tore half the siding off the house, not the whole house. Only one side.
That didn't help her cause. I mean, if you were paying half attention and if you had half a brain, you would know that that didn't help her. What you just said didn't help her.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sharon Grello says her former contractor, William Joyner, never completed the work on her home.
What is this a picture of?
That is one of the back walls that he was supposed to do.
And what about this?
That's what was left. When he left and never came back. I do have a video on my phone from July 16th where I'm walking through the house and it's just dirt and cans and everything's all over the place.
When was the last time you were there, Mr. Joyner?
In the middle of July. She texted me and told me if I can't be there. First, she hired my people.
No,
your people is who?
My stepson and the other guy that was working there daily. She started to pay them directly and told me she doesn't need me anymore.
Untrue.
I have a text message that states it. I don't need you any longer.
I'd like to see it.
I did send him that, Your Honor, but that was a long time afterwards because I told him I couldn't wait any longer.
This is mid-July.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
Got myself in trouble.
This is July 22nd.
Yes.
The job is supposed to be finished by then.
It would be impossible for me to give her an estimation on how long it's going to take.
It says so in the contract. It says 2 weeks.
But nothing.
It's just a second.
Sorry.
It says 2 weeks.
I don't know how much damage there is until I pull the siding off. I don't know how much damage there is.
You prepared the contract. As a matter of fact, initially, it was something like 20, and then it was crossed out, and you both signed a contract agreeing that the job would be completed in 2 weeks.
Approximately.
On July 22nd, according to you, she said, okay, we'll tell them, never mind, I'll find someone else. I can't keep delaying this every day, so tell them don't waste your time, because I came all the way out here for what? When I didn't have to, all right? What is that about?
I had window contractors going to come out.
Not coming today. They're not going to make it. I have another one. I'm at a meeting. I'll call you when I'm done. I want to know what it is, Mr. Joyner, that you, in fact, did. I know what you didn't do. I want to know what you did for $5,800.
I have $1,900 in receipts for material in front of me. I tore an entire back wall out. There was 3 windows, a bay window. It got all replaced with the one window. I tore another door. All of the siding came off. Then she put out the people that were working for me because she could get it cheaper that way. She wanted me to pay him to be there, and I'm like, I'm not paying Tony. He don't work for me.
Untrue.
Her exact words. I need you to pay Tony for being there. I'm like, he doesn't work for me.
My question is, was all of that material that you paid for, you said,
it was left there. Now, what happened to it, I do not know.
Speaking.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Who finished the house for you?
Anthony Perkins and some of the neighbors
Just a second.
at the trailer park.
Are you talking about this man, Anthony Perkins?
Yes, ma'am.
The one with the bad back who can't sit up?
He informed...
Now, just a second. The one with the bad back that can't sit up.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Sharon Grollo claims her former contractor, William Joyner, walked off the job.
You have $1,900. Now, I'm going to go through at this late hour in the day. When I go through each of those things, because I'm going to hear the truth from her, because she's the one who said he did, in fact, give me back the $400 for the window. So I'm going to believe her. Did you leave all of that material, and is all of that material for her house?
Yes.
Okay. And did you leave all of that material there?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to see the bills. That's $1,900. So far, $1,900, and you left her a mess.
That's twice. Whatever.
What an idiot.
If he bought that much stuff, it didn't come to my house.
Never did.
Don't speak to each other.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was speaking to you, ma'am. I'm sorry.
This was paid for by a gift card. Whose gift card?
The gift card she gave me.
So she paid for all this merchandise. She paid. She paid for all this merchandise.
Absolutely.
And you left, just a second.
Out
and
of
you
the
left it
$5,800.
I want to know how much, not gift card that is in here. I want to know how much she gave you in cash.
$3,500.
And I want to know what you did for the $3,500.
Tore all of the siding down. Replaced 2 walls.
Did you put up the siding? What else did you do?
Tore all of the siding down.
Just a second. How many days did you work at pulling all the siding down?
3, maybe? Something to that effect? 2, 3 days?
1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. Then I'm going to ask you which days. You should have that. You're the contractor. How many days did it take you to tear down the siding?
It was torn down in phases because you can't tear it all down at one time. Then the house will get wet.
Did you put up any siding?
No. We were replacing walls.
Well, then, if you took down the siding in phases and you didn't put up any siding, that there was a time that you tore out all the siding.
The pictures that you see with nothing but insulation, there's no walls there. On the other side of that insulation is the inside of her house. We tear this siding off. We tear this part of the sheeting off.
He only tore half the house down. Your Honor, he only tore half the siding off the house, not the whole house. Only one side.
That didn't help her cause. I mean, if you were paying half attention, and if you had half a brain, you would know that that didn't help her. What you just said didn't help her. Didn't really hurt her, but it didn't help her. Sit up.
I got a bad back.
Sit. Then you can stand outside.
No, I take pain.
Who finished the house for you?
Anthony Perkins and some of the neighbors
Just a second.
at the trailer park.
Are you talking about this man, Anthony Perkins?
Yes, ma'am.
The one with the bad back who can't sit up?
He informed...
Just a second.
He didn't do the physical labor, ma'am. It's the neighbors, and I have pictures up there of other people that I had and paid them in installments to do it.
Very good.
He was telling them what to do.
Very good. Listen, I'm about finished with this case. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
You paid him $3,500 in cash?
$35 in cash and $23 in gift cards.
Very, very good. And how many days did you work there, Mr. Joyner? You
2 weeks.
worked there. 2 weeks.
Me and 3 other men.
How many days did Mr. Joyner work there?
I wasn't present. He was living in the trailer. That's why he was there. And he was only there maybe 2 or 3 days. And his stepson, which is his name is Jimmy, I think he was maybe there 4 or 5 days.
Okay. Fine. Well, they were there, and they did in fact perform. And they did in fact perform some work. So you don't get.
do some
so
work.
you don't
Yes,
get.
ma'am.
Yeah, they did do some work, and it's very hard for me to gauge how much. But since you don't have a bill for anybody for completing the work, I'm going to award you $1,000
I do have the bills
for somebody to complete the work. I said, who completed the work? You said Jimmy, who was living there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And
I'm sorry.
neighbors.
I'm so sorry. Here is the bill.
Well, you didn't pay him for this. I want to know how much you paid somebody to complete the work.
I paid I forget exactly. I'm sorry. $950 labor, and I paid almost $2,000 total for the material for the siding, and I have receipts.
Did you supply any siding?
No.
Oh, good, then. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm glad to get some of my money back, but I gave him $5,800, and all he did was tear down a wall, tear my electrical out, and messed it up and cost me more money.
First of all, I'm glad that she's got something.
I only seen him there once. His one son was there and no one else.
I'm sad that this is the way it turned out for her.
I understand he couldn't do it in 2 weeks because it was more work.
Paid $5,000 for a trailer that had not a single piece of wood that was not termite infested.
But when no one showed up, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I couldn't keep waiting.
I could only do so much at so many times, and when she...
Financially, I had to get out, borrow money off my parents, pawn my jewelry.
Hired the people out from underneath me that were working for me.
And put me in debt. I couldn't pay my rent where I'm living at.
And started to pay them directly and told me she didn't need me anymore.
So I got evicted.
Contract. Bye.
Where did his car hit you? That's what I'm looking for.
A driver struggles to explain a crash.
I see clearly the damage to his car.
When he hit me on my driver's side, the impact pushed me into a parked vehicle.
Now, a warning for him to stay in his lane.
How did my car hit the back of your car? If my
Boy,
car
he leave me alone. Don't say nothing to me. Talk to the judge.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Tracy Ratliff is suing fellow motorist, 24-year-old Taze McJeeters, for the value of her car, Uber fees, and pain and suffering caused by an accident on the road.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 124 on the calendar, the matter of Ratliff versus McJetters.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Party's been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
You had an accident, and each one of you claim it was the fault of the other. I'm looking at the photograph of the accident, and Mr. McJeeters, it is correct? And you were making a left-hand turn.
No, Your Honor.
What were you doing?
Your Honor, that night, I was following a friend going down...
Listen to me. Go over there and tell me what's wrong with the picture. It looks as if you were making a turn.
Your Honor, that night, I was following a friend down Lindbergh Boulevard. But upon that night, my friend made a right turn down 58th Street. And when he made that right turn down 58th Street, I followed him, but we were going the wrong direction to our destination. So upon that, we waited for the red light over here, and then when it turned green, we both went down 58th Street.
Just a second. So your car is not where, that blue car is not where it was?
false.
Was false. You were coming from the other direction.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you were both going through the intersection.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct?
No, it's not, Your Honor.
You have a police report?
Yes.
I'd like to see it. Go back, Mr. McJudas. While she's looking for the police report, which I will look at as well, whose car were you driving?
Mine.
Did you have insurance on the car that night that you can prove to me?
No, ma'am.
That's why we're here tonight.
Yes, ma'am.
No insurance.
Yes.
Did you have insurance on
Yes,
your
Your
car,
Honor.
but not collision, just liability?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
You were taken to the hospital?
Yes, I was.
Was there a parked car involved?
Yes, it was. When he hit me into a parked vehicle.
The police said you were making a turn, sir.
Y'all know that's false.
Well.
And I have proof that she struck me because it states on there that she hit my driver's side, but this is my passenger side right here. And upon that, I never even got a chance to file a police report.
Why?
That night of the accident, I went to the hospital too, and I have hospital records to prove it too.
I know you both went to the hospital.
Okay.
To the same exact hospital at the same time. Ambulance following ambulance. I had to be extracted out of my passenger side.
And I was on the ground, held by somebody.
We wouldn't be here, sir, if you had insurance.
I understand.
You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You were driving irresponsibly. You were driving without insurance. Then the insurance companies would have ferreted out. You wouldn't be here with me. Unit 1 turned northbound onto 2500 South 58th from eastbound on 58th Lynbrook Boulevard. Could you go over to the map, please? Just so that I can follow the police report. Where is northbound on...
North is here.
This police report said Unit 1 turned northbound from eastbound on 58.
I don't know. This is where I'm coming from. My daughter's home, which I just dropped her off, coming down Lindbergh, which
That's
I
you.
travel quite frequently because I watch her children. He's coming the opposite direction. It's actually 3 lanes. One is to turn right, one is to continue straight, and his is to go to the left.
And that's what happened. He turned left.
Yes. Hit my driver's side. He actually hit me and pushed me this way. The car was parked here that I hit the bumper of.
May I see photographs of your car?
Yes. You need photographs of the vehicles?
Yes.
He's actually sitting where the police car is sitting. He come from that direction.
I just want to see a picture of the vehicle. This is your car.
No, that's his vehicle.
Would you do what I asked you to do? Show me pictures of your vehicle.
In there? They should be in there.
I just asked you for pictures of your vehicle. I have pictures of his vehicle. I want to see pictures of your vehicle.
Mine should be from here back.
Your vehicle's black.
Yes, black Chevy Suburban.
This is the black vehicle.
I don't see where he hit your car. I want to see pictures of damage to your car. I see clearly the damage. See any photographs here of damage to your car?
From those pictures back, Your Honor, are pictures of my vehicle.
No,
When
I see.
depart-
No, I see a. Would you give it back to the plaintiff and tell her I want to see the pictures of her car? Not a gate, not some debris lying on the floor, not an ambulance, just the point of impact of his car to yours, your car to
This is
his.
the
That's
side.
all I want to see.
This is the front. This is the door that was jammed shut. I had to be pulled from that side out.
Thank you. Okay. This is the picture of you hitting a parked car.
Right.
This is the inside of your car.
Yes.
This is the engine of your car, but this is as a result of you hitting a parked car.
Yes.
This is the picture of the side of your car that was the point of impact with his car?
No, that's where the back of his car teetered off from when he that I have.
Well,
I
then
wasn't
can't
there
help
at
you.
the scene to take pictures. I was taken to the hospital.
Actually, I can't help you. I can't help you. You have a whole lot of pictures here, but you have a whole lot of pictures here, none of which show me the impact of where his car hit yours. He has a picture of his car, the damage to his car, so I can look at this, and then I could look at this and say, well, this is where it was impacted. You don't show me anywhere here where he hit your car. Front, back, side. You show me where your car careens into a parked car and where all the damage took place.
He hit my side of the driver's door. I understand that the picture is not in it, Your Honor. Like I said, I was not there. I was taken from the scene. I didn't take the pictures. These pictures were sent to me after the fact.
Give this back. You have a whole lot of pictures. You don't have the picture that I need. I mean, you were taken to the hospital, but somebody took pictures. Why didn't somebody take pictures of your car, where the point of impact took place? That makes it easy. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Well, listen, if I don't have the evidence, I can't do a case. Neither one of you has a car anymore. Is that correct?
No, I have a
car.
No.
What year car was it?
A 99 Chevy Suburban.
Were you with her that night? The
Not
answer
the time
is
of
no.
the incident, no.
I wish I could help you, because there would be nothing that would please me more than to be able to say to somebody, without insurance, you have to compensate her for the cost of her car, even if it was only worth $1,500. Are you looking through your pictures?
I'm looking through the pictures someone sent me from the scene. Like, I don't even know this person's name. I'm trying to find...
That's okay, I'll wait. While she's looking, you have a counterclaim, Mr. McJetus, and that's for the cost of junking your car. I don't entertain counterclaims from people who drive without insurance.
Understandable, ma'am.
Good.
But, ma'am, if just stating that that counterclaim is for when my car was impounded.
Listen to me. I don't care what it's for. I don't entertain claims from people who were here because of an accident on a car that had no insurance.
Yes, ma'am.
For anything.
I don't have it, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms.
And the picture that was taken is, unfortunately, just from the inside, the outside, rather than the point of impact.
You don't have. I can't help you. I'm sorry. That's all. We're done.
The impact of his car.
Yes, I have a picture of my car before. I had no dents, no nothing on. That came from his vehicle.
Your Honor, you just asked her that, and she just said no. That was the picture of an impact when she hit a parked car.
No, the impact of the back of your car hitting the side of my car. I had no dents on my car.
How did my car hit the back of your car if my car was on the other side?
Don't say nothing to me. Talk to the judge.
Ma'am, you just asked her that question.
Is this the damage that you... Let's get this really clear, Ms. Radcliffe. I saw this picture. Is this where you're claiming that his car hit your car?
Yes. I think that came from, it's a picture with the back of his car where the lights messed up, where his car hit mine before I impacted that parked car.
Your Honor, how did my car hit the side of your car?
Just a second. Is this what you're telling me? Is this the place that you're telling me his car,
made contact
just
with
a second,
my vehicle.
Just his car, which had this damage, caused your car? Is that what you're trying to explain to me?
I'm trying to tell you this picture made that damage, because when he hit me, it spent his car, my car careened to the right side where I landed on a park.
Not following you.
I'm not following
you. Weren't there.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you telling me that this part of his car caused this damage to your car?
No. When he hit me, his car also turned.
Where did his car hit you? That's what I'm looking for.
And later today.
All I'm asking you is, without her asking you to redo her tax return, whether your company redid her tax return. That's a yes or a no.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Tracy Ratliff says fellow motorist Taze McJeeters was at fault for an accident. Taze is countersuing for damages to his car.
Okay, are you telling me that this part of his car caused this damage to your car?
No. That's where the back of his car when he hit me, his car also turned.
Where did his car hit you? That's what I'm looking for.
In the front. That's the middle of my vehicle. He hit me further up by the driver's side door. My door
That's what I'm
was
looking
smashed
just
in.
a
The
second.
glass broke, which cut my side.
Listen, point of impact. This is not it, because that's impossible.
That's the point. Go ahead, Your Honor.
No, you told me that the damage to your car was such that they had to use a crowbar to get you out of your car. That's not this picture.
No.
I know. Okay.
They pulled me out of the passenger side.
Okay. I can't help you, Ms. Radcliffe. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm pleased with the decision she's made. If she had pictures, she would have had more evidence, but I had evidence that prior to my victory. Honestly, I don't really remember the accident because upon that night, I was taken to the hospital. I'm sorry for the plaintiff for losing, but at the end of the day, justice is being served.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Williams versus Ross. Step forward.
25-year-old Antrice Williams is suing her former accountant, Janita Ross, for unauthorized fees and fraud. Janita is countersuing for harassment and threats.
Ms. Ross, I'm going to start with you. You're an accountant.
Yes.
Where did you go to school?
I went through Baker College.
Did you graduate?
Yes.
When?
2009.
And what was your degree in?
Accounting.
Do you have your own business or do you work for someone else?
I have my own business.
How many people work for you?
7.
What's the name of the firm?
JMR Tax Service, LLC.
And
industry for over 20 years. I've had my own business for a little bit over 2.
Let me see if I understand what this case is, and I'm asking you, because I read your answer, I read her complaint. Miss Williams came into you to do her tax returns, which you did.
Yes.
And as a result of you doing her tax returns, she got a refund.
Yes.
In what amount?
Before the fees were?
Just a second.
Okay.
In what amount was her refund?
$5,645.
Which you received?
I received $48.33.
And you received $48.33 because they took out your fee?
Yes.
They took out the fee that you had put in for. You put in for your fee and they deduct it? Is that what happens?
Yeah, well, everything is preset. The way that we bill is based on, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Don't get in. I'm not interested in your company procedure.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Now they want from her $4,362 because the decrease in credit was $6,000 after you gave it to her for complaining. That's very bad business, Miss Ross. Really bad business.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
25-year-old Antrice Janita Ross for unauthorized fees and fraud. Janita is countersuing for harassment and threats.
Okay. What I'm interested in is she got a net check of $4,833. So you had a fee built in there of about $800.
Yes, that's correct.
Did you ever ask her for any more money?
No, I didn't.
What was the problem?
She told, after she prepared my taxes, she told me the fee was $200.
Okay. And when you got the return back, there was $800 taken out.
Correct.
So what did you do?
I gave her a phone call.
And
she texted me like she's on the phone with the IRS. She'll give me a call back. And I texted her the next day, said, still waiting for your phone call. And she texted and said, I'm on the phone with the bank. I'll call you back.
Just a second. Did you cash this check to the IRS?
It was direct deposit into my account.
And when she had done your return, she, according to you, told you that it would be $200 to do the return. Turned out to be more.
Correct.
That's not even the issue. The issue is, Ms. Ross, you seem to acknowledge that after she complained about the bill, what was taken out, you redid her tax returns on your own volition. Is that correct? You redid her tax returns, resubmitted it to the IRS, and now the IRS is coming after her for the amount of the return because evidently the first return that you submitted on her behalf was done incorrectly. Am I reading it right?
Can you repeat that, please?
Very easy. Your company filed a tax return on the plaintiff's behalf. She received her return less an $800 fee that you had put into the return. Plaintiff says, rightly or wrongly, That's not really the issue to me. That you were told her that the fee was $200. Turned out to be $8. When she complained about your fee, you redid her tax return, resubmitted it to the IRS with different numbers so that they are now demanding that she return all or part of the refund that she got. So all I'm asking you is whether or not on your own, without her asking you to redo her tax return, whether your company redid her tax return. That's a yes or a no.
Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, all I'm asking you is whether your company redid her tax return. That's a yes or a no.
Yes.
Now I'd like to see from the IRS what they're demanding back from you.
Can I say something?
No. Your answer speaks for itself. You, without authorization from the plaintiff, resubmitted her tax return. That's what you did, without her authorization. It would be like you submitting a tax return, my tax return, when I never asked you to do it. You submitted her tax return once. She had her authorization to do it. You resubmitted it without proper authority. And now they want from her $4,362 because the decrease in credit was $6,000 after you gave it to her for complaining. That's very bad business, Ms. Ross. Really bad business. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000, which includes your fee. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next...
We're quoted a price.
$200 for the preparer fees.
There is the transmission fee, a software fee, a bank fee, electronic filing fees. There are separate fees involved.
Once it was deposited into my account, I noticed that it was $800 more in fees.
She harassed me. She tried to break into my office. I have a police report.
She amended it.
It's not going to change my business.
If you're in Detroit or Metro Detroit, do not file your taxes with JMR. She's a fraud.
When you came back from Saudi Arabia, was your property gone?
Yes.
A student's roommate had no patience.
Where is his property?
The dump.
When did you dispose of his property?
I would say about 3 days before he came back.
Now, this student has nothing.
When you left, you had a car. What did you do with his car?
Oh, I sold it.
What did you do with the money?
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
25-year-old Aziz Al-Assami is suing his former friend, Kendall Overbay, for the value of a car he sold without permission and for personal belongings.
Order. It's case number 280 on the calendar in the matter of Al-Assami versus Overbay.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, huh?
Mr. Al-Assami, the defendant was your roommate for a long period of time, and it is your claim that he disposed of your property, both your car and your other personal property, when you had to leave the country for a period of time without your permission. According to what I read in your complaint, you were Mr. Overbay's roommate for 5 years?
Yes.
And both you and Mr. Overbay lived in a 2-bedroom apartment or a 1-bedroom apartment or a house?
It's a house.
How many people lived in the house?
2, sometimes 1.
Okay. And how much was your rent?
$400.
And so for 5 years, you paid $400 a month?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Sure.
Not sure. That's a yes.
Yes.
When did you have to leave the country to go back to Saudi Arabia?
December 15th, 2017.
Now, when you left, you had a car. And according to what I'm looking at, did you sign the title over to Mr. Overbay?
No.
What did you do with your car?
I gave the keys and the title to my neighbor.
Which neighbor?
Brent. He's my neighbor who I trusted.
So you gave somebody else the title?
Yes. And Brent is...
Well, then I'm not dealing with him with the title because you have to sue the person that you gave the title to.
Brent is... Kendall asked me to show the car to his friend who might buy it, and he showed it and sold it.
Did the person that you gave the car to, the car, the title, and the keys, Did he give it to him to either sell or dispose of? Somebody had to give him the car and the keys and the title if you didn't give it to him and if you gave it to somebody else.
Yes.
You have to sue them. Anyway, that's what the law is, because he doesn't have to prove that he had authority to sell your car. You had given the car to somebody else, and if your friend Brent didn't have permission, you have to sue him. Now, let's get to the remainder of your property. You came back from Saudi Arabia on what date?
June 10th.
Now, when you came back from Saudi Arabia, was your property gone?
Yes.
Where is his property?
The dump.
When did you put it? Take your hands out of your pockets. When did you dispose of his property?
I would say about 3 days before he came back.
Why?
Well, I hadn't been able to get a hold of him. He kept saying he was coming back the end of the month,
Well, then you were able to get a hold of him, because if he kept telling you he was coming out,
towards the end,
back.
I wasn't able to get a hold of him at the end.
How much of the end, Mr. Overbay?
Oh, I'd say maybe the last month or two.
Well, that's a difference between a month or two.
Oh, well, I couldn't tell you.
Are you still living in the house?
Yep, it's my house.
Yes, Judge would be even better.
There we are. Yes,
Not
Judge.
there we are. Yes, Judge.
Yes, Judge.
Perfect. What property did you leave in Mr. Overbay's house, Mr. Al-Sami?
Some clothes and some shoes. That's all I remember.
Well, that doesn't help me very, very much.
I actually know that I left a couple shoes. I would say 3 shoes and a boot and some
Now
clothes.
you can help him. He has 2 causes of action, one for value of a car and one for personal belongings. If he has a couple of pair of shoes and some clothes, I'm not interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you understand?
Yes. Your Honor, so I would like to assist him with the primary complaint, which is regarding the car.
Well, let me explain it to you again. Mr. Al-Sami says that he turned over to Brent his car.
Yep.
Not yep.
Yes.
His
Yes,
car. No, not yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor, that
Yes,
would be
Your
better.
Honor.
His car, the title, which is the indicia of ownership, and the keys. His friend disposed of the car in one way or another. He disposed of the car.
Judge, I would like to point out that Mr. Al-Sami, we have evidence right here that he did grant Kendall permission to show the vehicle, to potentially sell it, and the complaint.
Oh, just a second.
Yes.
So what you're telling me is a permission to take the car from Brent, who's not
Correct.
here, to show it to people. Perfect.
Correct, Your Honor.
I'd love to take a look at it. Then I can dispose of the whole case, and maybe I don't need Brent. Great.
That's the big.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this is pretty clear. Here you go.
Thank you. I don't understand all of this, Mr. Overbay. So you want to try to explain this to me?
Sure. Aziz was being kicked out of the country.
Just a second. I understood that. He had to go back to Saudi Arabia for the purpose of getting a renewed visa.
Yes.
Okay. There's a difference. Let's understand where you are.
Exactly.
I want you to understand where you are. Your roommate had to go back to Saudi Arabia in order to reinstate his student visa.
Right.
And
he had asked me to sell his car. He'd actually been asking me for months to sell his car because he wanted something different. And he asked me and several other people to sell it. And when it came to time for him to actually move...
Don't look over there, look over here. Now, when it came time for him not to move, when it came time for him to go home
It
in
was
December,
serious. I mean, it was just going to be sitting there, and he signed...
Title. I know he signed the title.
And went to hand me the title and the keys, and I said, hey, I don't want to keep this title. I'll lose it. I'll probably lose the key, too. So I said, I have a title for a rig at my neighbor's house that I was fixing up. And I said, hey, put it with my other title. It was on top of his fridge. And he went down there, and he asked that guy if he could put the title there, and he did. Then I tried showing the car to about 15 people. Nobody wanted it. It was garbage. I mean, it was just run down, flat tires, rusty, moldy. Just imagine your worst nightmare of a car. And a guy took the bus there, didn't even want to get in the car and leave. He got back on the bus. So it was just rough.
I'm not interested in a long version of Gone with the Wind.
Right.
I want to know what happened to his car. So far, he signed the title, and the car was just sitting there.
Well,
and
one day, an acquaintance of mine came by and said, hey, you're selling this for Aziz, aren't you? And I said, yeah. He said, well, I might be interested. Do you mind if I take it to my mechanic and have it looked at? And I asked Aziz, and he said...
How did you ask Aziz?
I think I messaged him on Facebook Messenger. It's the only way I could get a hold of him in Saudi Arabia.
And?
And He said, sure. So
your friend
took the car to the mechanic.
How did he take it?
He drove it there.
On flat tires?
He had to stop at the gas station.
On flat tires?
He drove it to the gas station on flat tires, yes.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
He really said my mechanic advised me not to get it. I have a copy.
Don't tell me what his mechanic said not to get it. What did you do with the plaintiff's car?
Well, he offered $1,000 less than I was asking.
Just a second. What did you do with his car?
Oh, I sold it.
For how much?
$2,000.
$2,000.
Dollars.
What did you do with the money?
Well, initially I had intended to...
I don't care what you intended to do with it. I don't care.
Okay.
What did you do with the money?
Well, months went by. Rent wasn't being paid in a room that had belongings in it. And I kept it
wait, just a second. Other than clothes and shoes, what was there?
Bed, desk, carpet, lamps.
Just a second. Did you have a bed, a desk, and lamps that you brought with you to the house?
Not the bed.
I gave him the bed.
He gave me the bed.
So the bed was yours?
I wasn't ever going to use it again.
The bed was yours. And the desk?
The desk was mine. The lamps was mine. The carpet was mine.
Okay. Do you live in the house with them?
I did.
Yes or no? Do you live in the house? Did you ever live in the house?
Yes.
Up until when did you live in the house?
About 3 months ago.
Well, 3 months ago would have been in August.
Correct.
Stand up. Tell me your last name.
Malley.
How much were you paying in rent?
I was not.
What was your room from where Mr. Al-Sami's room used to be?
He was upstairs. I was downstairs.
Did you ever go upstairs?
Yeah.
Did you ever go into his room?
No.
Did you ever pass by his room?
Sure.
What reason would you have to go upstairs to his room?
That was the main living area.
Where he lived?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So his bedroom was on the floor of the main living area?
Correct.
And your bedroom was downstairs?
Correct.
How many other bedrooms were upstairs?
There's 3 altogether upstairs.
Aside from the defendant, who was living upstairs?
His cousin.
Whose cousin?
Kendall's.
Kendall's cousin. Who else was living upstairs?
That's it.
Kendall's cousin, Kendall. You were living downstairs?
Correct.
What was downstairs, a basement?
2 bedrooms.
Anybody else living downstairs?
Kendall.
That's where my bedroom is.
So there was an empty bedroom?
Correct.
In addition to the bedroom where his desk was?
Yes.
And downstairs, you were living with him?
Yes.
So that there was an extra bedroom in the house, at least one?
Yes.
Thank you. Now you can sit down.
Thank
you. Do you understand where I'm going?
No,
Do you
not
understand
yet.
where you're going? Well, I'm going to get you there.
Perfect.
According to you, you sold a car for $2,000 and you kept the money.
Right.
The plaintiff had been paying you $400 a month in rent. Let us say he wanted you to keep his things for the period of time that he wasn't there. Did you pay for December?
Yeah.
Before you left?
Yes.
January, February, March, April, May, and you came back June 30th?
No, June 10th, around June 10th, yeah.
So
yeah.
for 6 months, you owe him 6 months' rent is $2,400.
No.
Yes. If you had your clothes, desk, and lamp there, you were there. So you owe him rent. Don't you understand he owes him rent?
No.
There was a verbal contract in which...
Just a second.
Yes.
You can't tell me about a verbal contract.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It wasn't like he was moving to a new apartment and he just left his things there. He had to go all the way to Saudi Arabia to deal with an important visa issue immediately.
What do you want me to do about that? What do you expect me to do? What do you expect me to do about that?
And later today,
in your agreement with the owner, did you agree to pay your back rent of September, October, and November?
No,
the answer is no.
I never even knew there was an owner until August.
Miss Wilson, you're not getting any money. Zippo.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Aziz Al-Assami says former friend Kendall Overbay sold his car without permission and disposed of his belongings while Aziz was out of the country.
Now, did you have an agreement with him that you were not going?
The day I lived, yes. But when I leave the country, he never gets money rent if someone is gone.
No, sir.
He never asked me, and we never did it. I've lived with him 5 years.
Well,
because he's my friend.
Well, sir, if your things are in a room, you're there. If you're going back and you want no connection, no nexus to a property, you take all your stuff and leave. That's what you do.
If I know he wanted rent or asked me or say, hey, if you're gonna leave your stuff here, pay me rent. He did not ask me any of that. That's been for 5 years.
Okay.
Your Honor, he also had to leave in a very quick hurry because of the visa situation. It wasn't like he was moving to a new apartment and he just left his things there. He had to go all the way to Saudi Arabia to deal with an important visa issue immediately.
What do you want me to do about that? What do you expect me to
week.
What do you expect me to do about that? He left his car, keys, and title, which he had signed over.
Yes.
He left an apartment, which he had been paying $400 a month rent for 5 years. He left clothes, shoes, a desk, lamp, and according to him, a rug, which means he left everything in his room, which means he's there, which means he should have been paying rent. So what he did was he kept the $2,000 for the car. Now, that's what I would call self-help. The only problem is you didn't even keep his stuff there for the 6 months. According to you, you didn't even keep his stuff.
It was probably 2 or 3 to dump because it stunk.
Just a second. Did you keep the desk?
Oh, all gone. Dump.
Did you keep the lamp? You
Never.
mean the lamp smelled?
Absolutely.
The lamp smelled?
You can take it to your house and check.
Okay. Mr. Al-Sami.
Yes.
He's entitled to rent for the 6 months that you weren't there. I don't know what your car is worth.
My car worth from $3,000 to $3,500. And that's what I wanted for the price.
You have any proof that you told him you wanted $3,500 for the car?
No. He did not even ask me what his friend offered to pay for the car.
He's out of luck. He didn't pay rent. He has to pay rent. Are you living someplace else now, Mr. Al-Sami?
Yes.
Are you paying rent?
Yes.
How much?
$400.
That's what you had to pay him. He sold your car. It was an old car. Somebody had to take care of it, by the way, for the 6 months that you're not here. Had to move it, had to see that it didn't get towed. Why didn't you ask her to take care of your car?
I just trusted my neighbor.
Okay.
Well,
next time you won't be so trusting. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Well, I kind of expected it.
I had to go back and renew the visa.
I didn't even have a chance to deal with him.
He knew about the visa situation and all that. I still see his friends, and I just don't want to talk to him anymore.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Wilson versus Porter. Step forward.
Leslie Wilson for an illegal eviction, breach of contract, fraud, and the return of her security deposit.
Let me understand your case, Miss Wilson. You signed a 1-year lease to rent a room.
That's correct.
In a house where the defendant was living. According to your complaint, she signed the lease and you signed the lease. That was when? In what month and year?
The latter part of April of this year.
And you moved in and gave her a security deposit of how much?
$1,100.
And was that the amount of money you were being charged monthly for the room?
Yes, Your Honor.
Turns out Miss Porter was not the owner of the house. She was a renter. And you were given notice by the owner of the house that the house was being sold and you had to vacate.
Yes, Your Honor.
In what month and year?
June 2018, Your Honor.
When in June did Miss Porter tell you that you had to move?
She notified me by written notice July the 30th.
So you knew in June, but notified her in July?
I notified her 30 days, yes, Your Honor, in July.
And did you, Miss Wilson, pay your rent for May, June, and July?
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you moved out when?
August 9th.
Pursuant to your notification from your landlord?
Absolutely.
And you understood that?
I didn't find out she was moving until she put the note on my door July 30th.
But she said she gave 30th?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Were you out on August 30th?
No, Your Honor.
Were you out on September 30th?
No, Your Honor. I was in litigation with the owner.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Miss Wilson, you have to pay rent to somebody. So if you're not paying rent to her, then you pay rent to the owner. You don't become a squatter.
Your Honor.
Everybody pays rent. You're not getting any money. A Zippo.
The agreement that I have.
A Zippo.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Leslie Wilson is suing her former roommate, Lisa Porter, for an illegal eviction, breach of contract, fraud, and the return of her security deposit.
Now, you still live there in September?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you pay rent?
No, Your Honor.
Did you live there in October?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you pay rent?
No, Your Honor. I had a case going on with the owner of the house. I didn't know that she wasn't the owner of the house.
Listen to me. I just laid it all out, so I understand exactly where you're coming from. Are you still living in the house?
Yes, Your Honor. I have until the end of
November. Did you pay rent in November?
No, Your Honor.
And you're still living there?
Yes, as according to the agreement with the owner.
Listen, Miss Wilson, you see the long time. I know exactly what's going on. In your agreement with the owner, did you agree to pay your back rent of September, October, and November?
No,
the answer is no.
No. I had an agreement with her, not the owner. I never even knew there was an owner until August.
Miss Wilson, you're not getting any money. I want you to understand. Zippo, not a penny from her. You already made the owner of the premises take you to court to get you out because you're a squatter, because you live there September, October, and November, and you're not paying $1,100 a month to anybody.
She breached an agreement. I thought she was the owner when I signed that lease.
I don't care what you thought.
A whole year.
Listen to me.
I have the lease right here, Your Honor. She signed a year's lease with me, saying that she was the owner.
You're not getting any money. You have to pay rent to somebody.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, Miss Wilson, you have to pay rent to somebody. So if you're not paying rent to her, then you pay rent to the owner. You don't become a squatter.
Your Honor,
everybody pays rent. You're not getting any money. A Zippo.
The agreement that I have.
A Zippo.
The agreement that I have with the owner, Honor, says that I don't pay rent.
Listen to me.
I won the agreement with the owner that says I don't have to pay rent as long as I'm out by December the 31st.
You held up the owner and you said, I'm not moving. And you made the owner take you to court, get a lawyer.
That's not true. I didn't have anywhere to go. They kept my money.
Miss Wilson, you had plenty of money. You had $3,300 that you didn't pay in rent for the months of September, October, November that you lived rent-free. Unless you can show me you paid somebody for rent.
They wouldn't accept any money, Your Honor.
Goodbye, Miss Wilson. Your case is dismissed. I know exactly what you did.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
She illegally sublet that home.
They couldn't get her out.
It's actual fraud and theft.
She refused to leave.
I actually ended up going to litigation with the owner, and those were the terms of my agreement that I could stay there.
So the owner is unable to live in her house because the plaintiff would not leave.
Watch out, people.
It's just unfortunate.
We talked about being engaged and married. She said, I know where we can get a ring.
Mixed signals between a new couple.
His ring to me was a gift. I never wanted to marry the man. Our relationship was too volatile.
Did an alleged assault force her to cash it in?
I returned it to the store, Your Honor.
And you got the full purchase price.
Correct. After I discovered I was going to be out of work for 8 weeks with a broken rib.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Darren Corder is suing his ex-girlfriend, Angela Wilhelmi, for the return of an engagement ring, stolen money, damaged property, and the cost of an airline ticket.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 292 on the calendar in the matter of Corder versus Wilhelmi.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat, please.
Mr. Corder, how long were you and the defendant together before you took this trip to Costa Rica?
April of 2018.
And when did you take the trip?
September 10th, I believe, of 2018.
There was an incident there, and that happened on what date in September?
Around September 16th or 15th.
Were you both drinking?
Yes.
It sounds as if you were both drinking. Were either one of you arrested in Costa Rica?
No.
You came back to the United States, and when you came back to the United States, there were orders of protection filed by each of you. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I did it first.
I don't care who did it first. There were orders of protection filed by each of you. Did you have a trial?
Yes.
Yes.
Each one of you testified?
We did.
And at the conclusion of the trial, the judge entered an order of protection in favor of each of you for how long?
Lifetime.
Permanent.
Nobody. Were the reasons, madam? I'm not interested in your view of what the reason was that nobody was arrested. The judge in the United States, after hearing all of the evidence, after hearing all of the available witnesses, entered a protective order after having to have made a finding based upon the same quantum of evidence that I do here.
Costa Rica was not mentioned, ma'am.
I'm speaking. That each of you either assault, menaced, threatened, or harassed the other. That was a necessary finding that the court made by granting each of you a protective order for lifetime. Do you understand? That's what the law is.
Okay.
So I'm not interested in medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering, money owed from travel. The only thing that I'm interested in this case, is engagement ring. Period. Because another court, another place has heard all of your evidence with regard to your injuries, all of your evidence with regard to your injuries, all of the evidence with regard to that you had to take a separate plane home, that you had to pay a plane ticket. I'm not interested in that. All I'm interested in this case is engagement ring. Now, you started to date in April of 2018.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want you to tell me when and under what circumstances you bought this engagement ring.
Miss Wilhelmy and I had discussed a month prior to buying the engagement ring and me moving in with her, and also that she couldn't get married for up to 3 years because for $3,800 a month, and she needed that money to help put her kids through college. I said, no problem. We then went to Arizona. We talked about being engaged and married. We went to Arizona on a trip together. During that time, she said, I know where we can get a ring. I said, where? She goes, we can go to the store, which we did go to.
Which store?
It was Costco. She then picked out the engagement ring.
Can I see a picture of the photograph?
The photograph, and then she immediately posted on Facebook right when we got into the car of the ring, and then all the correspondence with the ring.
Okay, so that's clearly an engagement.
Your Honor, it was an apology from him for bad behavior. The man broke up with me multiple times before he gave me that ring.
That's okay.
The night before, we got in an altercation.
I don't care.
He felt
I don't
guilty,
care.
and
I
he
don't
wanted
care.
to give me
Buy
something.
a watch. Buy a watch. Buy flowers. Buy candy.
Your Honor,
don't
he's
buy
very,
us.
very insecure about the industry that I'm in. I am a flight attendant. It made him crazy that I went out and flew overnight trips. Pilots are going to hit on me. Passengers are going to hit on me. He wanted to make sure that nobody...
It's very, very simple. You don't like him. You went to court with him. You had a trial with him.
When he split my chin and broke my rib, you're absolutely correct. I don't like him.
Very good. Then why in the world would you want to have anything in your possession that reminds a 76-year-old person who has had lots of them engagement rings?
Because he did more than $20,000 in medical damage to me. $20,000. I have $10,000 in dental. He broke my rib. I'm out of work for 8 weeks.
Just a second. So this is your reason for wanting to keep this engagement ring?
Oh, she didn't keep it. Sorry.
That either keep it or sold it because you don't get much from selling secondhand jewelry.
I returned it to the store, Your Honor. It was on my membership card after I discovered I was going to be out of work for 8 weeks with a broken rib.
Just a second. Just answer my questions. Don't go and blabber on. You returned it to Costco.
Correct.
And you got the full purchase price.
Correct. I needed to cover my medical damages.
You're not following me, madam. We've been through the fact that you went to court in a jurisdiction in this country, you and the defendant, who was, I assume, the defendant in the first lawsuit for a protective order, and he had a second subsequent filing.
Which he didn't file until October 17th, 5 weeks after I filed.
Do you understand what I'm
and
saying?
one day after the court appearance.
Do you understand how annoying you are?
I do.
I just want to tell you how annoying you are.
Because I'm trying to make clear, Your Honor, I have major medical damages.
It's as clear as a bell to me. I am not going to do, could have very easily said, I'm dismissing his application for an order of protection. He has failed to demonstrate any need for a protective order. He has failed to demonstrate that you either assaulted, menaced, threatened, or harassed, and they would have dismissed his case. Judge did not do that. Judge said, I'm granting him an order of protection for life against you. You have demonstrated credibly to me, says the judge, that he either assaulted, menaced, threatened, or harassed you. I am granting you
Your
a
Honor,
protective...
you need to see the damage that he's done.
Just a second. I told you that. I told you. Did you present those photographs?
No, I did not.
In another?
Yes, she did.
No, I did not.
I don't believe you.
Absolutely.
I don't believe you. Well, if you didn't, then you were stupid. If you didn't, then you were stupid. And there's nothing that suggests to me that you were
Our original trial
stupid.
was supposed to be on October 4th. I filed for an order of protection on September 21. He was served on September 23rd. He was supposed to be in trial on October 4th. He did a continuance because he hired a lawyer. It was then continued out to the 15th. I had to do a continuance, forgive me, the 16th. I had to do a continuance because my witness who had observed him assault me couldn't be there.
Hey, you're not following me, madam. I'm not relitigating.
He wouldn't have had an order of protection if he...
I'm the case that was already litigated in another court. That's not what I do here. All I'm interested in is the engagement ring, which you had to return to him. If you sold it, that's the only thing that I'm hearing. If you sold the engagement ring back to Costco and got the money, then you owe him the money. How much?
$5,972.99.
Your Honor, he had a ring as well. Because it was a gift, his ring to me was a gift. I never wanted to marry the man. Our relationship was too volatile.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,972.92. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
What happened was she assaulted me first on 3 times, even the judge in that case.
We went to Costa Rica. He assaulted me. He broke my rib.
Admitted that she assaulted me first, and then we got into a physical altercation.
He busted me in the chin. I have a scar to show for it.
It had a lot to do with it. She likes to drink a lot, so yes.
No truth to that.
And don't date a flight attendant.
Recognize narcissistic behavior immediately.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Payton versus Smith. Step forward.
Vernell Payton is suing his former friend, Jalecia Smith, for vandalizing his home and car.
Mr. Payton, it is your claim that the defendant, who was someone who you dated.
We've been friends. We haven't dated. We've been friends.
Never
been friends.
It is your claim that she vandalized your property.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to be compensated. And Ms. Smith says that she did not. I'm going to ask you because I'm not exactly sure I'm getting the correct information from the plaintiff. Were you and Mr. Payton just friends, or did you date?
If you consider fooling around, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, we were friends.
There was an evening that you came over to his house, and he didn't answer the door. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember when that was, Miss Smith?
August 29th, I believe.
Of this year? At what time?
Maybe 8 or 9.
Did you have an appointment to see each other?
No.
Was there any reason that you went over there?
I talked to him earlier that day, and he told me he was sick, and I wanted to help him by buying some soup and some medicine for him.
In what context did he tell you he was sick?
That he wasn't feeling well, that he was...
Were you supposed to go someplace?
Oh, no. I took it upon myself to go to the store.
Were you supposed to go someplace that he said to you, I can't go, I'm sick?
No, he said that he didn't want any visitors, he didn't feel well.
Okay. He said, don't come over, I don't feel well.
Right.
So what did you do?
Well,
here.
I'm sorry. I didn't think nothing of it. I had went to the store, and that's when I seen him at the store. When I seen him at the grocery, 8, 9, between the same time I talked to him on the phone. Well, like right after.
Well, you said you went to his house between 8 and 9. What time did you see him in the grocery store?
Well, no, when I seen him at the grocery store, it was almost 10 then.
But you went to his house between 8 and 9?
Between 8 and 9. The store isn't that far from where I live, where he lived.
Well, what happened when you went to his house between 8 and 9? Tell me what happened when you went to his house.
He didn't answer the door, so I just walked away.
Does he have a car?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Was his car there?
His car was there.
So that if you knew his car was there, you knew he was there. And it was early in the evening. It was between 8 and 9.
Yes.
So you just left?
I just left.
And where did you go?
I went back home.
When did you go to the store?
I went to the store around, maybe it was almost 10.
Later the same night?
The same night.
So you went to the store later the same night at 10 p.m. and you saw him at the store?
I seen him at the store.
What were you going to the store for?
I was going to the store to get me some groceries.
I thought you were going over to his house because...
I was going to...
Shh. I thought you were going to his house between 8 and 9 because he told you that he wasn't feeling well and he didn't want any visitors, and you said I was going to bring him some soup. So why wouldn't you have gone to the grocery store before you went to his house with the soup?
Well,
In a moment.
What does that mean? S-H-E-R-M-E-D.
I was drunk.
You were drunk?
That's what that means.
Raise your hand if you did the vandalizing.
Yes, I did not do the vandalizing. I was saying that I was explaining that that's what that's supposed to mean, right?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Vernell Payton says his former friend, Jalecia Smith, vandalized his home and car during fits of jealous rage.
He told you that he wasn't feeling well and he didn't want any visitors, and you said I was going to bring him some soup. So why wouldn't you have gone to the grocery store before you went to his house with the soup?
Well, well, I don't really have an answer for that. I just have, all I know is that even though he said not to come, I was still going to come anyway.
Well, were you coming anyway to check up on him, or were you coming to bring, you were coming to check up on him? So they would get rid of the chicken soup excuse. No chicken soup for you. And I assume, Ms. Smith, that when you went there to check up on him, you were going to check up on him to make sure that there were no other women there. I mean, you weren't going there to minister to him because you didn't bring him any chicken to see what was going on because he blew you off that day. You got there, you saw his car there, he didn't answer the door according to you, and so you went home. Now, Mr. Payton, you say at that time she vandalized your car?
Yes, that evening. I take it.
Okay. And was your car vandalized on the 29th of August?
Yes.
Did you have a police report?
No police report, I didn't.
Why?
Because I'm just filed a small claims court against opposed to getting the police involved. Because, I mean, I know the 10 years, so I don't want to, I didn't want to have a criminal record up for it. I know.
Well, did you call her after, did you call her after August 28th?
Yes, I did speak to her about it. I mean,
when?
When I noticed the Post-its on my air conditioner, and after which I seen my car.
I'd like to see the Post-its.
Yes, ma'am.
According to you, you came out of your house, you saw Post-its on your air conditioner, according to the complaint. Pay you for it. I ain't asking for forgiveness. I was shrimmed out. S-H-R-E-R-M-E-D. I don't know what that means. But that at least let me fix what I did, Payton. That's all, and I'll be out of your life.
Okay.
For God's sake, swear on it. I have all the things that it takes to fix it, what I did. If you don't want to, I know what I did was...
Okay. I didn't write that.
Okay. Now, then you went over to your car after you saw these Post-its.
Yes.
And I'd like to see pictures of your car.
Yeah.
I think that phrase means high on synthetic marijuana.
What?
I think that phrase you were talking about
Schmurd?
Means high on synthetic marijuana.
You have your phone?
I do.
Would you?
I don't. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, look up. What does that mean? S-H-E-R-M-E-D.
Drunk.
Sure.
What does it mean?
I was drunk.
You were drunk?
That's what that means. That's what it's supposed to mean.
Okay, good.
That's what it's
Glad.
supposed to mean.
Raise your hand if you did the vandalizing.
Yes, I did not do the vandalizing. I was saying that I was explaining that that's what that's supposed to mean, right? I was explaining that that's supposed to mean.
I got it.
That's not even cool. Whatever.
Well, that was good.
Whatever, dude.
That was really good.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
There's no need for anyone to go back there, so I pay attention who goes back and forth. So as I seen her walk back there, what was she doing? And I just, like she was cleaning the car or something. I couldn't tell, but I know he knew her, and I didn't think anything of it, and that was it.
That could have been anybody.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Vernell Payton says his former friend, Jalecia Smith, vandalized his home and car during fits of jealous rage.
Okay. Can I see estimates to fix the damage to your car?
It's 3 of them, I believe.
3 estimates?
Yes.
It was very nice of you not to call the police. Is this your witness?
Yes, ma'am.
Step up, please. Tell me your last name.
Taylor.
Mr. Taylor, where do you live in relation to the plaintiff?
I live in the same building, right at the end of the building.
Do you remember the 29th of August?
29th of August.
And you know the defendant?
Yes, I do.
From before the 29th of August?
Yes.
You'd seen her before?
Yes, I have.
Did you see her on the 29th of August?
I did see her.
Tell me about what time you saw her.
It had to be about 9 o'clock, 9-ish, just before 10, I guess.
What was I wearing?
And I live at the end, and generally when people walk back to the back where the garages are, I mean, there's no need for anyone to go back there, so I pay attention who goes back and forth. So as I seen her walk back there, what was she doing? And I just knew her, and I didn't think anything of it, and that was it.
And did you tell the plaintiff that you had seen her?
I didn't say anything to him until later on. I guess when he found out about his car, then he started asking me then, but I didn't think anything of it because she's back there. I mean, he's his friend.
How much later did you talk to him about the fact
it was
that you
later
saw
on
her?
that evening. It was, it was evening-ish when we did talk about it.
That night?
That night.
Did you call the defendant, sir? Did you call her after you saw that your car was vandalized?
Yes, I did.
On what date did you call her?
After noticing the car, after seeing the Post-its, and then seeing my car.
Mr. Payton.
Afterwards. Yes, ma'am.
Did you call her that day or the next day?
The day that I noticed my car damaged.
When was that?
The 29th.
It was damaged on the 29th in the evening, so you saw it on the 30th.
Okay, the 30th.
When did you speak to Mr. Taylor?
The evening of the 30th.
And when you spoke to the defendant, what was the conversation that you had with her?
Well, about the damage of the car.
No, tell me what you said to her and what she said to you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
And when you spoke to the defendant, what was the conversation that you had with her?
Well, about the damage of the car.
No, not well. You called her.
I asked her about the damage of my car. It was a little bit outlandish, and then she needs to take care of it. She needs to pay for that because, you know, it was outlandish. And she apologized and said that she would pay for it.
What did she say?
Well, she...
Not well. I asked you what she said.
She said that she apologized and that she would pay for it.
So?
So, here we are to making sure she paid for it.
No, well, you got an estimate. You must have called her.
Oh, I told her, yes, I did. I let her know the estimates of the car, how much it would cost for her to
do it.
What it would cost for her to take care of the damages to my car.
That could have been anybody back there. That wasn't me that would walk back there.
You said you were back there. You said you were drunk. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Just wanted to get my property completed.
I didn't scratch the car. Sure. I'm sure.
That she would take care of the damage. She would apologize.
I really don't remember that conversation, but...
She did say she would.
She said that I wrote the notes, that I was in the bag. I wasn't even in the bag, but whatever, it is what it is.
We've been friends for 10 years, so, I mean, just let life do what it do.
I guess in the end of the day, we're still friends.
This neighbor says it was to keep others safe.
We had several car break-ins. I was openly carrying, as I'm licensed to carry.
But did he take his crime watch too far?
Her niece said you approached the car with your hand on a gun.
She was on her porch screaming at me about chasing her kids, and I pointed a gun at them.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Edith Sig Reed is suing her neighbor, Richard Gorman Jr., for the cost to move a shed, harassment, and bullying.
Order. All rise. It's case number 295 on the calendar, the matter of Sig Reed versus Gorman.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Miss Reed, you and Mr. Gorman live in the same gated community. How long have you lived there?
I've lived there for 4 years, ma'am.
And Mr. Gorman, how long have you lived there?
3 years, sir. Ma'am.
And when, Mr. Gorman, did you become part of the Homeowners Association?
I became a board member in 2016.
Are you still a board member?
No, ma'am.
Were you asked to leave?
I was voted out, ma'am.
Okay. Each of you that is harassing with regard to a shed that you put up on your property that became a bone of contention between the two of you. When did you put up this shed?
It wasn't until about August time frame, but everything was precipitated by when I had to call the police on him because he chased my niece through our cul-de-sac and he had a gun. And she called me. I do have the police statement.
Just a second. When did that happen?
That happened in May of 2016. And
okay. Just 1 second. Mr. Gorman, were you a board member of the Homeowners Association then?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember the incident with regard to Miss Reed's niece?
In detail, yes. And I don't know if it was her niece or not.
Well, she says it was her niece.
Yeah, right.
It was somebody from her house.
Again, didn't know that at the time.
Okay, whatever it was, whether you knew it or not, it was somebody that she knew that was clearly an invited guest of hers.
Correct.
I'd like you to tell me what happened.
So, the day before this, there was an incident where we had several bees in one of the tree trunks in our association in their cul-de-sac area. Several of the neighbors in that area were complaining that these bees were problematic because I didn't want to kill the bees. I was waiting for beekeepers to come out and look at them, see if we could rehome them without damaging the tree. And so I was putting caution tape up at night. While I was putting the caution tape up, we had also had several car break-ins. I was openly carrying, as I'm a licensed to carry. I had extremely slow, parked in front of an area that has no houses in front of it, across from hers, and sat there. I saw some movement inside there, didn't think anything of it, walked home, figuring, okay, this is a little odd that they
I don't care what you were figuring. What time of the evening was that?
It was around 11 o'clock in the evening, ma'am.
Okay, so then you went home.
Correct. I then got in my vehicle, figuring, again,
I don't care what you figure. You went home, you got into your car.
Got in my vehicle.
You got your car, you went back to the cul-de-sac.
Turned into the street, noticed the car was still there, drove around the cul-de-sac. As I was starting to go down towards where the cul-de-sac turns, the car turned its engine on, immediately sped off, made a right at the stop sign, went down towards our pond area.
And?
I continued to follow. As I followed them, I tried to angle my vehicle towards the center of the line, kind of like if you were going to talk to somebody on the opposite side of the street. Rolled down my window. About this time, they blew past me. I went through, picked up the phone, called Bexar County non-emergency to let them know that we had a suspicious vehicle in the neighborhood. It's a gated community, and I was going to ask that they be aware and then ask this individual to not come back if they didn't live there or anything. As I was calling them, they turned down back to the same street. So as soon as they turned, they stopped in front of her house, and several people got out of the vehicle. At that point, her husband was out there, and she was on her porch screaming at me about chasing her kids, and I pointed a gun at them, on and on and on.
Well, let's like to see the report.
Yes, ma'am. And I'm the one that called the police. I called 911.
When did you call 911?
So my niece was coming home from boot camp, and she was coming to surprise her mom, who was at my house. So when he started up the sidewalk on foot, he had his gun on his hip, as he always does, and he made sure that she saw it.
No. Now listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
He had his gun on his hip.
Yes, ma'am.
As he was doing what?
Approaching the vehicle.
You mean when it was first spotted in your cul-de-sac?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So your niece called you?
Yes, ma'am.
And you called the police?
Yes, ma'am.
And reported that someone with a gun had approached your niece in a car?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I had never seen him before, and that's why she drove off.
Well, it's clear she called the police.
Correct. I called Bexar County non-emergency.
Just a second. She called the police, not
Correct.
you. Okay.
Well,
she
I mean,
called
according
the
to
police,
that report,
and
I
she
called through non-emergency, which is a
Listen
whole
to me,
situation.
Mr. Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
She called the police on you. She made the first report to the police.
She called
at
me
a time.
911.
She made the report about you when you first saw her niece in the car, and her niece said you approached the car, that's what the police report says, with your hand on a gun.
The police report says that? I have the
Yes, it
police
says
report.
firearm, and said that he had the right to carry a firearm. Male
Correct.
chased them around the neighborhood. Male is parked in front of complainant's home.
Correct.
Male is in a gray Dodge Charger.
Correct.
Brandished a firearm to the complainant and her nieces. Male kept asking complainant if she wanted to see it. Complainant's husband is outside speaking with the man at this time. Male just displayed the weapon, no disturbance. That's what it says.
Correct.
That's not you calling a non-emergency number. I don't give a rat's behind whether you called a non-emergency number.
Fair enough.
The way you presented it to me, you made the phone call first, when in fact the plaintiff made the phone call first about your strange behavior.
Incorrect, ma'am.
No, that's not incorrect.
Yes, ma'am. So, Bexar County non-emergency, when you call their
No,
non-emergency
listen
number,
to me. I want you to
911 call takes precedence first.
I want you to listen.
I'm listening to
to
you, ma'am.
what I just said to you.
Correct.
And what you said to me, Mr. Gorman.
Correct.
You said to... Do you live with him?
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to remember what you said to me. What you said to me was you were putting up some tape.
Caution tape, yes, ma'am.
Don't repeat what I say. I didn't ask you anything. I have a very good memory. You were putting up some tape and you noticed a car sitting opposite the plaintiff's house. You finished putting... Now, at that time, you had to walk back to your house, get your car. In between that time, her niece called her from the car and said there is a man with a gun. So evidently, when you saw her sitting in the car, somehow she saw you with your hand on a gun. Then you went and got your car. You came back. She perceived your car and took off. You followed her. You said to me it was at that time that you called a non-emergency number reporting. She had already called the police. According to this. She had already called the police on a suspicious man with a gun.
The call time was 23:41:58 is when they picked up that time. I called them around 23:30, if not before that, reporting that a suspicious vehicle was in the area. However, I had to wait and hold queue before I could talk to anybody because 911 takes priority.
Mr. Gorman, you were out of line.
How so, ma'am?
Just a second. You were out of line. It's the same reason they voted you out of the Homeowners Association. All right,
That's a
now
different
let's
story.
move on with... Now I would like to hear about the shed.
So Mr. Gorman and my neighbor directly behind me were complaining on Facebook that I had a shed on the property. I hadn't received permission. So the neighbor directly behind me.
Do you have a photograph of your shed?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at it.
So I was asked to...
Not what you were asked to. You're showing me a picture of your shed.
It's in black and white.
Is there any reason why anybody takes a black and white picture?
Well, I printed it. I apologize. It wasn't... I printed it.
Why? Why didn't you just bring me the picture of the shed?
I left an entire folder. I apologize, ma'am.
Where?
At home.
That's not my problem.
Right. So
Okay.
I have a violation notice here. I was told to get into compliance. The roof composition had to be the same. I hired an individual to come. It was actually a metal roof.
What was it supposed to be?
It was supposed to be the same as my home. So I did that. So
Okay.
then I was told in the violation notice that...
I'd like to see the violation notice.
I was told that I needed to get into compliance and request permission for the
Let
shed.
me just look at the notice.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it says that you had until August 31st of 2017. So this was a year after the original incident with your niece.
Yes, ma'am. However, in between, Mr. Gorman had approached my son at the basketball court, harassing him.
Let's get to the violation.
Okay, so I filed the notice, and it was denied, and they said that... says that...
Don't tell me what it says. I can read. Okay, so they said that it was not placed 5 feet from either the back property line and the side property line, and that it appears to be greater than 8.5 feet tall, which is not in compliance with their regs. Was that accurate?
No, ma'am. And I also have pictures of, in our community, this one that has a rusty roof.
May I see it?
And these obviously are not 5 feet from the fence.
Well, they all look like nice roofs.
They denied it, saying that I wasn't 5 feet from the fence. None of those are 5 feet.
I don't know. What does your shed look like? Now, you have a picture of everybody else's shed in color.
Yeah.
I would like to see your shed.
I don't have it.
Well, that's your problem.
Yeah.
Not my problem, Miss Reed.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It's a very good thing that you were voted out of office.
I disagree.
Oh, I don't think so.
Our
I think that
community
the
is
people
already
were
being run
probably
into the
very
ground.
smart.
For what?
I don't answer your questions.
Fair enough.
Real
Edith Sig Reed says neighbor Richard Gorman Jr. patrols their subdivision with a gun. She is suing for harassment, bullying, and the cost to remove a shed. Richard is countersuing for harassment.
So they brought an action against you?
Yes, ma'am.
The Homeowners Association?
Yes, ma'am. And Mr. Gorman also was the one in court when the lawyer told me... I apologize.
Listen to me.
Yes,
Don't
ma'am.
tell me what the lawyer told you. The Homeowners Association brought a cause of action against you.
Yes, ma'am.
What was the result of that case?
It was dismissed.
And what happened to your shed?
I moved my shed because I was just done. Yes, ma'am.
You moved your shed?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you move your shed before or after the case was dismissed?
Before.
How much before?
We went to court in April. I moved it in January. January 12th, exactly.
And it was dismissed in April?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you had moved the shed?
Yes,
ma'am. Okay, so you knew the shed was in the wrong place. You moved it. As a result of your moving it, they dismissed this case. Am I missing something? Did you
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
trial?
Yes, ma'am.
And the Homeowners Association lost the trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have the decision? Is there a written decision on that?
May I correct a few statements that she made before? One of the things that she had stated was I was present for the hearing. I had not been present for the hearing I was present for, and that was when we were suing our property management company, and I asked for a temporary injunction with the separate counsel. So that was the only time I've ever showed up for court. I did sign an affidavit as president of the association showing that she had been in violation since August and that we followed the Texas Property Code 209
I want to see
sections.
why they dismissed her case.
We agreed.
No, I want to see the court's decision, not what you say, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Gorman. I found a little bit of your statement to me previously about what happened with the plaintiff's niece a little disingenuous.
I'm sorry that you feel that way, ma'am.
I do
However,
feel that way.
that's not the way it happened.
I do believe that.
I mean, the police report obviously shows I didn't do anything wrong, right? I mean, cited or in handcuffs.
You say the police report shows that you didn't do anything wrong. I don't interpret it that way.
Then why wasn't I cited? Wasn't I arrested?
I don't interpret what the police officer reported in the police officer's report as you doing nothing wrong. Do you want me to read it to you again?
I've got a copy of it. If it was, I would have been arrested and Texas Law Shield would have been involved. And Texas Law Shield had already advised me before the PD even showed up that I'd done nothing wrong.
It's a very good thing that you were voted out of office.
I disagree.
Oh, I don't think so. I think that the people were probably very smart.
For what?
I don't answer your questions.
Fair enough.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Front. Okay, and?
That violates the parking restrictions that we have in place under the DCCNRs that she agreed to when she signed her house.
Just a sec, listen to me. I would suggest you move fast as you can.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Edith Sig Reed says neighbor Richard Gorman Jr. harasses her family, claiming he patrols their subdivision with a gun.
May I see the decision of the court? Well, the court granted plaintiff's motion for partial summary judgment, and that all of the defendant, that was you, counterclaims and requests for affirmative relief are dismissed with prejudice. So you were the defendant in this action, but it granted partial summary judgment.
Yes, ma'am. I had
You had moved the shed in January.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So two things that you've spoken to me about, which were the two most relevant in here, was the incident with your niece that happened in 2016. I've already told Mr. Gorman what my opinion was about that. I think he was overzealous in protecting the neighborhood, and it was frightening. That was 2016. Now we get to the shed. And the only way that I would consider the shed a form of harassment, because there were other people who had sheds that were similar and may not have been compliant, so that you were being singled out. You would have to establish to my satisfaction that the entire homeowners association who filed this case against you after a year and a half of being told to move it and not moving it were in some way conspiring with him to get even with you for something.
It was 3 months, ma'am. And there's only 2 board members.
There's 3.
I didn't ask you a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm telling you what I'm ruling.
Yes, ma'am.
The fact that other people did something wrong and that therefore you could do something wrong never washed with me.
Yes, ma'am.
As a judge. If you know that you're not supposed to build a fence that is certain height, certain distance, and you do it anyway, and you haven't asked permission to do it, that falls on you.
Yes, ma'am.
He has a counterclaim, which is ridiculous. First of all, you do not stand in the shoes of the homeowners association, so you can't sue on their behalf.
Actually, yes, ma'am, I can. In the DCCNRs that she agreed to, it states that under 7.2 enforcement, the declarant or the association or any owner shall have the right to enforce by any proceeding at law or in equity all restrictions and charges now or hereinafter imposed by the provisions of this declaration, bylaws, and certificate of formation.
Listen to me carefully. The only thing that you said here was that she parks her cars.
Correct.
She parks her cars, and you're in the process of selling your house, and because of that, because she parks her car, it diminishes the value of your house.
Correct. She's in violation
Just a second. That's what you say.
Correct.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
First, you have to show me pictures of her parking in front of the house. Then you're going to have to bring on, I assume one of these people is an expert witness and is prepared to testify that the value of your house is diminished by virtue of the fact that she parks too many cars on the street. First photograph.
There you go. The DCCNRs actually state that the violation is already
Photograph.
Yes, ma'am.
I see 2 cars in the driveway, 1 car in front in a legally parked space. The other one, I don't know whether it's a legally parked space, but there looks like a car behind it.
Correct.
Okay, and?
That violates the parking restrictions that we have in place under the DC. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know whose cars these are.
Exactly.
Just a second. I don't know whose cars these are.
I do. They're hers.
Just a second. You tell me. The white car has a license plate of RD, and there's one behind it in the street. I don't see a license plate, the one that's on the street.
Correct. And that's the violation in the whole. She's done that multiple times where that car's been parked out in front of her house.
I don't know who that car belongs to, this car.
It would be hers. That's one of the vehicles that was parked out
Your
in front.
case is dismissed, Mr. Gorman. So's hers.
Ma'am,
move. I would suggest you move.
I'm trying to.
Fast as you can.
I've been trying to.
Good.
But this
That's
lady
good.
is
That's
affecting my
not my
property
problem.
Ma'am,
Move.
I've got
You
the
have no
DCCNRs
case.
right
Goodbye.
All right, is there excuse? You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
The police report clearly defines that nothing happened, or I would have been cited. It would have said something.
He's just a liar, and Judge Judy found that out very early.
I mean, she was in the vehicle. How can I frighten somebody? And when you if you live in the neighborhood, which she says she did.
She pegged him immediately of how overzealous he was.
Why'd you turn right to go down a dead-end street than to have to come back? It doesn't make any sense.
And power hungry, and that's why he was voted out.
I hope that they can move on and settle out and understand that
Actually, in the process of moving, as soon as my son leaves for school, we're selling our house.
I would say the way it was portrayed, I was the, negative person, but it's not true. I had done nothing wrong.
And that's it. I'll never purchase a home within an HOA again.
I have no real idea, just that everybody can settle and move on. We can have a happy community.
You and your cousin decided to go into business together.
Their new trucking company.
I was the driver, he was the dispatcher.
Hit a few bumps.
You picked up loads. They were waiting for the loads. You didn't show up. You shut off your phone, according to the customers.
They was threatening and calling the authorities because he wasn't at the proper place.
And did you or did you not get paid on this job?
I did not.
Looks to me as if you weren't a very good deliverer.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Ricky Murray is suing his cousin, Aaron McIntyre, for delivery payments, gas money, and truck repairs for a trucking business they co-owned.
Order. All rise. It's case number 204 on the calendar in the matter of Murray versus McIntyre. Please have a seat.
Mr. Murray, Mr. McIntyre is your cousin, and you and your cousin decided to go into business together.
That's correct.
And the business was trucking.
That's correct.
You had been in the business before.
Yes, ma'am.
Driving. And you are not in the trucking business. You were a barber?
Yes, ma'am. I just purchased the truck.
Okay, so this was the business arrangement, as I understand it. Mr. McIntyre purchased the truck. He would pay the expenses on the truck. He would take care of all the necessary things that had to do with the ownership of the truck. And your contribution to the business was driving.
Yes, ma'am.
And making deliveries.
Making deliveries.
Very often these were cross-country deliveries. He bought the truck, and this was your first venture?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were traveling from where to where?
From Simpsonville, South Carolina to the first stop, which was...
What was the first stop and what was the last stop?
LaGrange. The first stop was in LaGrange, Georgia. The last stop was in Alabama.
Okay. And how many stops were scheduled for deliveries of merchandise? It was you were delivering merchandise.
Right.
How many stops were you supposed to make?
We had 5 stops.
This is what your lawsuit is about. After this first trip, the business didn't work out. He was unhappy with you, and you were unhappy with him. The truck broke down. You had to call your wife to give you a credit card number for expenses because the one you had didn't work. Always late, never on time. A lot of the merchandise was damaged. He didn't make any money. He lost customers. So that's the lawsuit. I have a suit and a counterclaim. Bottom line in this is you entered into a business investment that you're no longer involved with. Fair statement?
Yes, ma'am.
You're suing him for money, not for salary, but for you were supposed to be equal partners. Is that right? What was the breakdown, sir?
I was going to invest the money, he was going to invest his time, so basically, yeah, we're going to split the profits.
That's what I said. You were going to split the profits.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, from the trip that he made, from Georgia to Alabama, 5 stops, I have to know how much money was supposed to be made, sir? Supposed to be made.
Supposed to be made at $6,400.
You have the names of those clients.
Yes.
Correct? I assume you brought them with you.
Yes.
Good. I would like to see them. Well, I have two here. One is for $1,350 and one is for $1,500.
I only brought the one that was in question. I didn't bring the other ones that we had a problem with.
So you got some money. Mr. McIntyre, you had problems with these two.
I did.
But you didn't have, there were 5 stops.
There was 3 loads. Those 2 loads, which went to Coleman, Alabama, then one went to LaRange. So there was only 3 loads. It was 5 stops because you had to drop off and pick up. That's the way he came up with the 5.
Okay, so there were only 3 jobs.
Yes, ma'am.
So I have 2 here.
You have 2.
One you say that you got paid on.
Yes, ma'am.
How much?
$1,200.
And did you or did you not get paid on this job?
I did not.
Did you or did you not get paid on this job?
Did not. Because of the damage, which I have the evidence of the damage and the pictures.
I'd like to see it. So what you're telling me is that the customers sent you pictures of damage.
Yes. They also stated that being that it was being so late, they was threatening and calling the authorities because he wasn't at the proper place with their supplies.
Who took these pictures?
The customer did. And if the DOT would have stopped me with that right there, I would have been fine on the road.
Well, so it looks to me as if you weren't a very good deliverer. You want to see his evidence?
I would. That's the first time I've seen it.
I'm going to show it to you. I want you to read the texts and emails. You picked up loads. They were waiting for the loads. You didn't show up. You couldn't reach you. They had to use airlines to get merchandise because you weren't there. Put your hand down.
Again, Your Honor, we drove 2,671 miles in a straight truck, which is unheard of in this trucking industry. We had to take a break. DOT laws regulate that we take a break 2,600 miles in those many days. Ma'am, that is a big, big fine. I set the truck down because I didn't have any choice other than to in order to run the load legally.
Your business arrangement with your cousin was that you were going to split profits.
That's correct.
Right now, the only profit that I see so far, and I haven't gotten to his counterclaim, is $1,200 unless you have proof that he got paid from the other people. Based upon that, they weren't paying him for what you did. You weren't an employee. You were a business partner, and you only get paid when he gets paid. And if his customers didn't pay him, didn't pay the business because they were dissatisfied with the service, then you're not entitled to any money. So far, the only money that he says he was paid was on one delivery, which was $1,200. And we haven't gotten to whether or not he had to compensate anybody for damaged property. I don't know whether he did or not. If he didn't, and the only profit from this one run that you did was $1,200, you're entitled to $600. That's what you're entitled to. You're a business partner. And if the only profit was $1,200, that's what it was, $1,200.
Ma'am, as a truck, now, I don't know whether he has insurance, but every load that we take, every load that you put on a truck has insurance on it. And I don't know why he hadn't presented that evidence, because it is evidence that you have.
I don't know. You present the evidence. You're his business partner.
I was the driver, he was the dispatcher.
Sir, you're going to have to demonstrate to me that he got more than $1,200 in profit because you're his business partner. If you were a trucker making so much money per hour and you worked for 6 straight days, I would pay you on an hourly basis. I would award you wages. Listen to me. I would award you wages, but you were not. You were his business partner. So far.
Here's one of the where he got paid for and what he got paid for, $1,500.
I'd like to see it. Is what you're telling me, that's the same thing that I have here.
From what he got paid from? He said he didn't get paid. That said they paid $1,500. It didn't say anything about he didn't get paid.
That's just a rate confirmation, Your Honor. That's the rate that they showed me that would have got paid if it was completed.
He said he got paid $1,200 from one customer. The others didn't pay him.
Well, which ones were late then?
I'm going to ask him. Which customers did not pay you?
Those 2 right there didn't pay.
Okay. These 2, the same people. No, they were 2 different people.
Then he has to demonstrate which other load. The only load that was late was Coleman, Alabama.
He doesn't have to demonstrate that at all.
Okay, well, but that was the only load that was late. He's saying that was late. I'm telling you that it wasn't. This is the only load that was late.
You know, I got evidence of me sending him $700 Western Union on top of me paying for all the gas that was in the truck. So on top of that, I'm also losing this money for the gas. On top of I send them $700.
Can I see that, please?
Objection, Your Honor. Your Honor, he came into the yard and got the truck. He took all the receipts, so I don't have any way of him. All the receipts were in the car with my license, which I asked him for. I have text messages where I asked him for my license.
Did he send you $700?
Yes, of course he did. But excuse me, but the fuel cost, the trip was a 2,637-mile trip. You can't go across the street for $700 with that, ma'am.
What I want you to tell me, sir, is all I want you to do.
But I have
there's only one person who's in charge of drama here. That's me.
And I apologize.
All I want you to do is show me the receipts for what you paid, because that's going to have to do with what the net profit is. So far, I have $700 that he paid for gas.
These are all the receipts for my Visa cards, for my Discover card.
Okay, was the truck serviced while he was on the road?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
And this truck was serviced for $800?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pay for that, or did the plaintiff?
She paid for it, and the next morning she came into my barber shop and received the money in her hand. I got a witness from my business partner at my barber shop. He witnessed me give her the $800 plus $90 for gas.
Just a second. Is that witness here?
They told me I couldn't bring but one.
Then what'd you bring her for?
She witnessed the altercation as far as me going to go pick up the truck and him not responding within a couple amount of days.
That's unfortunate, because you can't tell me that somebody witnessed you giving her $800 in cash.
That's fine.
Right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
where were you?
Due to construction being done, you know,
I don't care if there's construction, a flood, frogs, or whatever.
Right.
Everybody else made it to the brunch except the food.
Judge Judy.
Ricky Murray says his cousin, Aaron McIntyre, owes for delivery payments, gas money, and truck payments for a trucking company they co-owned.
Okay, your part of the deal with him was that you were supposed to pay for the truck and all of the expenses. So far, I have between the truck that had to be fixed on the trip that you still have, I assume, or you sold it, and the gas that was spent, he spent $1,315.
That's not true, Your Honor. Those receipts, I got receipts from gas. That was all my receipts from my credit card.
That was the business arrangement. The business arrangement was you were going to pay for all the expenses on the truck, and he was donating his time. That was the arrangement, and any profit thereafter, you were going to split. What you tell me is the profit was all eaten up.
It was.
I buy it. I've read the texts. I've read your dissatisfied customers. That doesn't, Mr. McIntyre, preclude him from recouping $1,315 that he spent on gas and truck expenses, because that was supposed to be your job. That was your part of the bargain.
He had my card to do all those things, so he did that on his own.
Very good. $1,315. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I did recoup some of my profits, some of the work that I did on that truck, so emotions can get you in trouble.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Darrington versus McKee. Step forward.
Gloria Darrington is suing Chef Michael McKee for breach of contract regarding the catering at her engagement party.
Miss Darrington, you hired a defendant, someone that you knew, as a caterer for your engagement party. You said it was a terrible misadventure, that he didn't perform the contract as agreed. You want your money back. You also want other damages, etc., but you want your money back for the event. Mr. McGee is counterclaiming, and he says that you defamed his business on social media. Mr. McGee, do you advertise your catering on social media?
Yes, I do.
Well, if you advertise on social media, someone is entitled to say that they have been dissatisfied with your service.
I understand that, but it wasn't that case, though.
Well, how long have you known Miss Darrington?
I've been known her since middle school days.
Okay. And do you think she hired you in order to make trouble for your life?
I mean,
no.
She
hired you. She was having an engagement party, and she wanted somebody who could provide her with the food the best possible way, which is why she hired you. So unless there's some venal reason why you can think of that she went on your business that you advertise on the internet, she's allowed as a customer to do that. That's what it's for. People can comment on whether or not they like your service. And I guarantee you that you're not going to give me a reason why Miss Darrington, after hiring you, bringing guests in for an engagement party, would write anything negative about you unless she believed legitimately that your services were not as promised. We get each other. Perfect.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't know anybody that I would use again that showed up 10 minutes before my event. I would say, I may have to use him today. I will never use him again.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Gloria Darrington says Chef Michael McKee botched the catering for her engagement party. Michael is countersuing for emotional distress, lost wages, and libel.
Now, your engagement party was when?
July 1st, 2018.
And when did you retain the defendant?
I originally reached out to him May 1st, and we...
May what?
2000.
Do you have a written contract with him?
Via text message.
I'd like to see what you... Yes, you had a contract. You had a contract for $300 and another $250 for your service. Did I read that right?
It was $300 for his service and $250 for his vendors.
The entire cost was what?
Well, $500, excuse me, not $250, $200. $500, but then he took $50 off for his service because of our relationship.
Okay. And you were supposed to be there. You said, good morning, what time do you need to be at the venue? You said 10:15 to 10:30. On the date of the event, sir, at 10:53, which is almost 11, she writes to you, Mike, are you on your way? Where were you?
I was actually at the venue. I mean, she only wanted brunch.
You were supposed to be there between 10:15 and 10:30.
Right.
It's now almost 11 o'clock. You're not there. It's a brunch. Where were you?
There was construction going on.
There was what?
Construction going on the freeway.
So, who cares?
So that was due to me being behind, you know. But prior
just
to
a
that,
second. What time?
I'm listening. Go ahead.
What time did you get there?
Roughly 10:45.
He got there at 11:40, Judge. I have a
May I see
timestamp
it, please?
where he showed up. And nothing prepared.
Just a second. Just shh.
Okay, by the time.
Walking in with food in coolers.
Right.
Okay, so immediately you're in breach of your contract.
Due to construction being done, you know,
I don't care if there's construction, a flood, frogs, or whatever.
Right.
Everybody else made it to the brunch except the food. When you're supposed to be at an event, you leave yourself an extra hour, an extra 2 hours. You're supposed to be there. What time is your party called for?
It takes 10 minutes to set up.
What?
10 minutes to set up for what she wanted done, man.
Absolutely not.
Just a second.
That's all it takes, 10 minutes. I've been doing it for 14 years. It doesn't take no hour, actually no hour and a half to set up or something like that. For omelets and waffles.
It was a waffle bar. And he also...
Made to order. Made to order.
Mr. McKee, how old are you?
34 years old.
I've been making parties for longer than you're alive. And when I have a party, and the party is called for 6:30, and I have it catered, the caterers arrive at 4 o'clock or before, just to make sure that they're there, that everything is done. I don't know anybody that I would use again that showed up 10 minutes before my event. Nobody. If somebody showed up at 10 minutes to 6 for a 6 o'clock dinner, I would say, I may have to use him today. I will never use him again.
Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, what time was your event called for?
12 o'clock p.m.
What I want to see from you is you say people had to go out and get their own food.
Absolutely.
I want to see a bill for that.
Well, they didn't have to go get their own food. My witness, Juanita, and my friend Jill ran out to get food from a local grocery store.
I want to see a bill for that.
Okay. This is my friend Jill's bank statement.
No. Don't give me your friend Jill's bank statement.
That's all I have.
It has nothing. At what time did you leave?
Ma'am, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't even tell you what time it was. I left her event. To go replace the food to accommodate her before the loss of the circuits in this building, this venue, once again, that she provided, that kept popping. That's why the food wasn't properly prepared.
What?
I don't know if she brought it up to you, but that's what this really is about. She was embarrassed because her event was not going according to what she wanted. Due to these circuits popping, I couldn't perform with the waffles and the omelets. And to let you know The venue that we was in was a salon. Wasn't even a banquet hall or anything like that. It was a salon. So it was unsanitized, to be honest with you.
It was an art gallery.
I have proof of that right here in the text messaging that she admitted the circus was popping right here.
So what? You're supposed to be... Oh, you're a nasty man, actually, Mr. McGee. She's talking to you relatively professionally. She wants to know when she's getting a refund. And your response to her is a male, stupid answer. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $450. We're done. Counterclaims dismissed.
You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm a man that speaks with authority, and she didn't like that.
Truth reveals itself.
She's a TV queen, so this is all it's about, to be honest with you.
I was on TV before, but that doesn't have anything to do with a botched catering job.
She had this for her second marriage and go according to how she wanted it, do the circus popping. She felt embarrassed.
You get what you pay for.
We had gotten serious. I moved into his place.
A girlfriend regrets putting money into their relationship.
We were both staying together, so I started fixing up the place because we were building a life together.
Evidently, he's not building so much as you.
After the boyfriend turned out to be a bad investment.
I found out he was cheating. He had been seeing someone else.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Josie Gonzalez is suing her ex-boyfriend, Keith Schneider, for furnishing expenses.
Order. All rise. It's case number 281 on the calendar in the matter of Gonzalez versus Snyder.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Gonzalez, you and Mr. Snyder have been dating about 2 years?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that right, Mr. Snyder?
Almost 1 year.
Did you ever live together?
No.
When did you decide to move in together?
We never moved in together. There was never a decision. I'm sorry.
I didn't say you moved in together, Mr. Snyder.
I'm sorry.
I said, when did you decide to move in together?
We never decided any of that.
Okay.
No, in September. Yeah.
During the course of this 1 year that you were together, Mr. Snyder, were you moving your job from one place to another?
Yes, I accepted.
So
yes.
You decided to move from Long Beach to someplace, or from someplace to Long Beach?
Yes, Palm Springs to Long Beach. I accepted a position
And
in
when
Long
you
Beach.
and Miss Gonzalez were together, you were in Palm Springs?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were in Palm Springs for a year, together?
Yes, ma'am.
And you had a job opportunity in
Long Beach.
Did you need an apartment in Long Beach?
Yes.
Did you look for an apartment alone, or did
Yes,
Did you look for an apartment alone, or did Miss Gonzalez look with you?
I looked by myself.
She never went with you to look for an apartment?
Came with me twice when I was working, because I was working back and forth. So she came with me a couple times because
She came with you for work a couple of times.
while I was working, she came and stayed so we could spend some time together.
When she came to stay, where did you stay?
She purchased a hotel.
She stayed at a hotel.
Yeah, she purchased
And where were you staying?
I stayed with her that time.
Those 2 times?
The 2 times she came, yes, I spent.
And other than that, when you came from Palm Springs to Long Beach, you made the commute back and forth
Yes,
each
ma'am.
time. In what month and year did you buy furniture?
Can I look at my...
Your Honor.
Yeah, shh. Yeah, you look.
Is it
I
okay?
asked you a question.
Just to get the dates.
What month and year did you buy furniture for your new apartment?
I'm not sure on the exact date.
Okay, good.
But I have
Ms.
this.
Gonzalez, would you tell me in what month and year you bought furniture for Mr. Snyder's new apartment?
We had buying furniture together in September 2017. And I did go to Long Beach, yeah.
When was the first time you saw the new apartment that Mr. Snyder was going to rent?
It was in June.
Of 2017?
2017, yes.
And the furniture was purchased in September 2017?
Yes.
May I see the bills for the furniture, please?
Yes. Everything's itemized.
Okay, let's go through one thing at a time. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Miss Gonzalez purchased a television set
Yes, ma'am.
for $599.61. Do you have that television set?
Yes, that is correct.
Just a second. So you have it.
Yes, ma'am.
Who paid for it?
I paid for it. Josie put it on her credit card, and I paid her back.
I'd like to see where you paid her back the $599.61.
It's right
Just
here.
give me one piece of paper. Bird will take it from you. No, that's a whole bunch of paper. I need one
two
piece of
receipts. It's
paper
the
for a
couch.
television.
Okay, here's for the television.
Would you mind telling me what this is?
That's the receipt she gave me.
I want to see that you paid it.
I did pay it.
Show me.
I just gave you the receipt. I paid her cash. She
Oh,
told
well,
me to write them
then you paid her cash.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, then you didn't pay her. That's TV, $599.99. TV. Next thing, Platinum Snapshot, $699 and $130. What are those two things for?
It's for a sectional couch. It's a Macy's couch.
$699?
Well, that was the balance, the color of the couch.
I see. And those two things together were $899?
Yes.
Okay. You have the couch, Mr. Snyder.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have proof that you paid for it?
I don't have a... I
Well,
paid
this
her,
is where you're coming.
I paid her in cash.
That's what you're coming. Do you have for either one of those two bills withdrawals from a bank for the cash? No.
Nope, I paid her cash.
What I'm saying to you,
I understand.
there are only a couple of people that I know who keep that much cash around, sir.
Okay.
And you're not one of them. So you would have to take the money out of a bank. I'm more than happy to see on a day before or a day after this, you went and took out $700 and $1,000 in order to pay the plaintiff.
Sure.
If you don't have that, then you have no proof that you paid her.
Yes, ma'am.
And you still have the merchandise.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Now, I haven't gotten to you as to why you bought this furniture.
By that point, we had gotten serious and we were living together. We had an agreement that we were
Just a second. You weren't living together. Where were you living together?
I moved into his place.
To his apartment?
Yes.
On what date did you move into his
apartment? He gave me keys to his place in September of 2017.
Okay, but you still had your business.
Yes.
So you weren't living together. You stayed there.
Yes.
All right, well, that's different from living together.
Yes.
You still had your business that, according to you, you weren't winding.
What I have, it's a rental, which I rent out, and our agreement was that we were falling in love, that we were together, that I would stay with him, and we were both staying together. So I started fixing up the place because we were building a life together.
Evidently, he not building so much as you. Okay, so I have a TV and a sofa and an ottoman. What else? Pillows, decorative pillows, $299. Those still there?
Yes.
And this is a computer desk. Do you have a computer desk, Mr. Snyder?
Yes, ma'am.
$185. And this is all in 17?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're approaching 19. What are you doing here?
No, we continue to be together.
Until when?
Until July. I helped him with a move.
Just a second, until July of this year?
Yes, so 2000.
Oh,
yeah.
There we go. Until July of this year.
Yes.
Did you stay with him?
I wanted to, and then I found out he was cheating. He had been seeing someone else after
So
I
the
helped
answer
him.
is you weren't staying together?
No.
Well, when was the last time you were together?
July 18, 2018.
From the time this property was bought, the couch and the TVs, did Mr. Schneider give you any money towards the couch, the TVs, the pillows, anything that you would purchase? Did he give you any money?
Yes, he gave me
Correct. How much money did he give you?
He gave me like a $500 payment. And
But don't, this is not, you're in court. Date in October. The amount of the payment.
Hang on, I have it. One payment I know it was in July. It was in October.
You have a whole. Listen, what you're here for, Miss Gonzalez, is furniture.
Yes.
You have dog sitting nonsense. You have other nonsense. But what you're really here for is because you bought the furniture and you say he was supposed to pay for half of it and he didn't. Now you say he did pay you. So with all of that material that you have there, you should have at very easy access the payments that he made towards this debt, because that's the whole case. I don't know what else you have there and all that nonsense, but that's your whole case.
So on September the 29th, 2017.
September 29th.
He gave me $500.
Check or cash?
Cash.
Go ahead.
On March 15, 2018, he gave me $300. Cash.
Okay, so for the three items that I've mentioned, he owes you now $865, and that was for the full amount of the furniture, $865. Now let's get to this dog nonsense. The dog nonsense is that while he was moving from Heather and Jan, he left his dog with you.
Yes.
Did the dog stay in your house?
Yes.
All right, you don't get paid for that. That's so. Let's get rid of that. What else do we need? Dog sitting, hotel costs. When you went out to see him, you paid for the hotel.
He took the job immediately. He only had a week, so he stayed at Airbnb, so he was paying for like a week at a time till he find an apartment. So we had a plan that I would come up there and help him because he was working 12-hour days, 6 days a week.
What kind of work was he doing?
He's a chef, so he works long hours. So I come up there and help him look, drive around, get apartment numbers, call places. It was an agreement that, you know, we were going to find a place together.
Okay. So far, you have the furniture. You have these two choices, Mr.
Yes,
Snyder, with regard to the furniture.
Yes, ma'am.
You can either pay her $865 or she's coming to get the furniture. That's your pleasure.
I've already paid her all the money that
No,
she...
you haven't.
That's fine. But I have.
$865.
Okay.
Either you pay her $865 or she comes back
No
for the
problem.
furniture. What's your pleasure?
I'll pay $800. I was attempting to pay this off. I have messages and
Just a
texts
second.
and things like that as well.
Let's make my
but-
life simple.
Yes, ma'am.
Either you pay her the $865 or she
Perfect.
comes to get the furniture.
I'll pay her. I'll give her another
Very good.
$865.
Now you have a counterclaim.
No problem.
Counterclaim says that she harasses you. Well, can't do anything about that. I feel harassed already this morning.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later...
Plaintiff.
If I buy
What?
a car and it doesn't run, I take it back.
Just a
There was
second.
something wrong with the
Just
dog, so we went to take it back.
No, listen to me
Yes.
carefully. First go to college, then go to law school, then pass the bar.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Josie Gonzalez says ex-boyfriend Keith Schneider owes for the return of furniture and hotel costs. Keith is countersuing due to an assault and harassment.
Okay, money owed for costs to repair face due to an assault. When did the assault take place?
August 26th, 2017.
Was that the last time you were together?
No.
Just a second. When was the last time you were together?
Beginning of July.
Of 2018.
Yes, ma'am.
So you stayed together for another year.
Yeah, she promised to
After,
fix.
just a second. So you stayed together for another year,
Yes, ma'am.
and you slept together.
Yes, we
and you
did.
were intimate together. Well,
Yes, ma'am.
that's what we call sort of forgave the assault that happened. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $865. We're finished. Thank you very much.
What about my countersuit?
I just decided
Okay.
it. You weren't paying attention. You were too busy looking at your papers.
I'm trying to give you my evidence.
You weren't paying attention to
I'm
what I
paying
said.
attention.
I said,
All right.
if you opened up your ears, you
It's all
continued to
good.
sleep together
It's
after the
all
assault.
good.
We're done.
Step out.
He's getting away with a lot more than just the one couch. He's a total, you know, maneuver. He's just, you know, just not a good person. Very shady. Stay away from shady people.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Long versus Tolson. Step forward.
Joni Long is suing 18-year-old Jessica Tolson and her father, Jason, for the unpaid balance of a puppy, lost wages, gas money, and pain and suffering.
Miss Tolson, I'm going to start with you. Were you the one who answered the ad for a puppy?
No, I posted the ad.
What kind of puppy were you looking for?
I was looking for a border collie or a mixed breed, really. I was focusing on the border collie looking for.
You posted it where?
I posted it on Craigslist.
On what date did you post it?
I posted it in September. I'm not sure of the exact date.
Had you been looking for a puppy for long?
No, not long. We'd only recently moved in and gotten
Who's
settled.
we?
My dad and my sisters.
How old are you?
18.
Do you work?
Currently
is not
no.
an answer.
No.
Who supports you?
My father.
She's in
Why?
School. She's in school.
I'm a student still.
When you called Miss Long, did she tell you how much they were?
She told me that she had one puppy left for $500.
And what did you say?
I told her...
Be very careful. She said she had one puppy left and the puppy was $500.
And I'd asked her if she would accept payments for the puppy.
You asked her that over the phone?
No,
No, that's the... Listen, let's be careful. When you called her and she said the puppy, she had one left and it was $500, what did you say to her on the phone?
We never spoke over the phone.
Spoke to her on?
We started over text message, but we mostly spoke over Messenger on Facebook.
Great. When you went to look at the dog, had you discussed price other than the $500? Because you have that in your text messages.
We discussed making payments, yes.
Before you went to look at the dog?
Yes.
I'd like to see those text messages where you discussed making payments.
Right here.
Okay, so, I have Azul with me. I'm just making sure. This is September 12th. You will be bringing $150 in cash tomorrow, and then another $150 next Thursday, and then $200 the following Thursday, September 27th. And you said, yes, that's correct. So you picked up the dog on $150.
That's correct.
Did you give her another $150 on the 20th of September?
No, on the 20th of September, I wanted to return the dog. That following week, I said I did not want to make another payment. I wanted her to take the dog back.
Did you have any sort of a written contract where she agreed to take the dog back?
We had no contract at all, no.
Well, you did have a contract. This was your contract.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
This was your contract. Your contract is you get the dog, she gets $500. You could shake your head until today, until everything starts to rattle, but that's it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Joni Long says Jessica Tolson and her father Jason owe for a border collie puppy.
Okay, your contract was you were picking up the dog for $500 and you were making 3 payments. You agreed to that. That's the contract. So $150 was due on September 20th, and I would assume that you did not make the third and final payment of $200 on the 27th.
No.
Then you owe her $350 for the
No,
puppy.
I wanted her to take the dog back. She sold me a dog that it was supposed to be a friendly puppy. That was the only dog. He did not fit in with our family.
Ms. Tolson, I want you to listen to me very carefully. And I don't want your father to look quizzical. I want him to put on his listening ears. Do you work?
She did at the time.
Do you work? I'm talking to you, sir. Do you work?
Yes, I work.
Great. And do you get paid by check or cash?
Check.
And how much do you get paid?
It depends on how much I work.
So you're paid by the hour?
Yes.
Great. Therefore, you have a contract with your boss. And the contract with your boss is that if you work 10 hours and you're paid $25 an hour, that you get paid $250. That's your contract with him. Not whether he feels like he's got a cold or whether he feels as if he's got a bunion. That's your contract. 10 hours, you get $25 an hour. Your daughter had a contract with the plaintiff. Her contract with the plaintiff for this 8-week-old puppy.
If I buy a car and it doesn't run, I take it back.
Just a
there was
second.
something wrong with the dog, so we went to take it back.
No. Listen to me
Yes.
carefully. First go to college, then go to law school, then pass the bar. What I'm telling you is if you go and buy a car, if you buy a new car comes with a contract. And the contract usually contains the words lemon law, so that if you buy a car that is actually a lemon, by definition of the law, you are entitled to your money back. But if you buy Craigslist, $850 for a car, you give them $850, they give you the car. There's nothing else in writing. That's the contract. You've bought a car, and if the wheels fall off it as you're driving away, you have no recourse.
Yeah, we asked for a family dog. That wasn't what we got.
She responded
listen
to
to
my
me.
ad.
That's called puffing. This car was driven by a little old lady to the Piggly Wiggly twice a week, and otherwise it stayed in the garage. Unless that's in a written contract, all you did was buy a car for $850.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, you can have a contract with a dog breeder that says breeder will take back the dog within 1 week for any reason. Breeder guarantees health of the dog for 30 days. You didn't have that. Your sole contract was in here, which says you give me
And
the
she
puppy.
responded to my ad telling me that it was a good family dog, which it
Okay,
wasn't.
you're not understanding me, so I'm going to tell you, stay in school. I just explained that to your father. This was your contract. Your contract is you get the dog, she gets $500. Now, it's not my business. This is your contract. You owe her $350. That's what you owe. You could shake your head until today, until everything starts to rattle. But that's it. $350. We're done. Thank you. Bye.
Wait a minute, ma'am. I also drove to Washington to reclaim the puppy.
$350. And you didn't get the puppy.
Right, but
Just
but
for my own information. You gave the puppy to somebody else?
Yes.
Sold it. They sold it.
We
We're
gave
done.
it.
They sold it.
We got no money in return for that
They
puppy.
sold the puppy. and
Listen to me.
We have
Listen
text
to me.
messages showing
Goodbye. Tape is expensive.
I spent fuel and a full day's off work
on your own
to go
terms.
claim the
We
puppy.
told him we didn't have the puppy.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
they had excuse after excuse as to why they didn't pay me for the puppy.
They're definitely a little much. Hers definitely was